Be able to have this game here is so important to us and so valuable. We are so excited and so honored. I also want to thank the board members from our Bethesda Community Baseball Club who have worked so hard, along with our staff, our coaches, our volunteers, and our interns to make this a great night for you. I want to thank the Big Train players who come from all over the country to play the 2 months of the summer baseball grind. We're so grateful to them. I want to thank the rabbis who prayed for the last 3 nights and days so that we would have this beautiful night here. There was rain in the forecast until the rabbis did their thing. So we're so grateful to them as well. My colleague John Orchman, who helped build this, without John we would not have this community jewel. A friend of his came up to him in the first year, in 1999, and said, "Johnny, when I come to a Big Train game at Shirley Povich Field, I feel like I live in a small town." That is exactly the environment that we're trying to create for you today. So we have best wishes to the team Israel tonight and in their great journey to Japan for the Olympics. We wish them well. Play ball, roll, train.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, everybody. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Peter Kurz, whose tireless efforts have made it possible for Israel baseball to be the first team to represent Israel in the Olympics since the 1976 Summer Games. First ball team. Got it. I stand corrected, Peter. It's all you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for coming out here. Thank you, Bruce. It's incredible. This place is incredible. Thank you for all the Washington area fans who are here to cheer us on. This is the 7th stop on our 9-stop tour of the Northeast U.S. We're here to get the team ready, to get the guys ready to play in Tokyo in about 10 days from now. The guys are ready. They're out there. They're playing. We've got a good team. We've got a team that is definitely going to medal. And that's our goal, to medal. We definitely want to get one of the medals. Thank you. Don't quote me in the newspapers right now. But we're ready. We're ready to get on that field. We're ready to play. We're ready to go to Tokyo. We're ready to make the Jewish nation proud. Anybody who's seen our campaign, we're sending 24 Israeli players to Tokyo to play baseball. And we think all of you are the 25th player. We need the whole Jewish community behind us to be the 25th player, to watch the games, to be there, to be with us on the 29th and 30th of July. Those are our first 2 games, 6 o'clock in the morning, local time. Tune in, watch us. The first game is against Korea, the second game against the United States, and Israel will be victorious in the end. That's what we're looking for. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you, Peter, and good luck. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Minister for Public Diplomacy representing the Embassy of Israel. Please welcome Tammy Ben-Hayim.
Good evening. I'm so happy to see all of you here on behalf of the Embassy of Israel. Welcome. Thank you so much to our hosts, Bethesda Big Train, and especially Bruce Adams and Patrick Chapman, who made it possible to bring Israeli baseball right here to the DMV. I'd like to thank Terry Spearman and Martha Hara from Children's National Hospital, who connected us to the patients, and welcome the children and their families who are here with us tonight, which is great. And finally, Peter Kurz, the driving force behind Israeli national baseball. Without you, we wouldn't have a team going and being in the Olympic Games. So I'm sure all of you are excited to see them in Tokyo, but first and foremost, to get a chance to see them play and represent Israel here tonight. So good luck, enjoy the game.
Thank you very much, Tam. Next, please welcome the 3 people who made sure that it did not rain tonight. Thank you, folks. 3 of the region's most distinguished religious leaders. They normally speak for 45 minutes or longer if they choose. Ladies and gentlemen, in the aggregate, you now have 2 minutes Please welcome Rabbi Bruce Lustig of Washington Hebrew Congregation, Rabbi Abby Shirofsky of the Jewish Community Relations Council, and Rabbi Stuart Weinblatt of Congregation B'nai Tzedek.
As for the weather, I speak on behalf of all three of us. We are in sales, not management. So. Shalom, welcome to our guests. We emerge from the darkness of Tisha B'Av when we remember the destruction of the temple to the new day, when we celebrate the vibrancy of our strengths as an American Jewish community.
Our community is strong and vibrant. We are diverse and proud. We stand up against injustice. We care for those in need, and we welcome the stranger in our midst. We never shy from the challenges of the day.
And so while we mourn the loss of the temple, now we celebrate. We celebrate that as Jews, American Jews, we are part of every walk of life. From the White House to the big house of baseball here at the Rakeret HaGdolah, the big trade. Jews are part and parcel to every aspect of American life. History bears witness to safeguard the future. So tonight we're here to participate.
Sean
in
Ewell.
one of America's greatest traditions, baseball.
Near eye.
So let's play ball or Misachet Kador. I don't know if that works or not in Hebrew, but that's what we're going to do.
Thank you to the three of you. We appreciate your blessing and your help. And now let's go up to the press box to Sean for the player introduction. Sean.
Thank you, Bob. Now, here is the starting lineup of the Olympic-bound Israel national team. Team Israel bat boys Jordan Gladstone and Spencer Rathman are carrying the state flag of Israel. Team Israel manager is Eric Holtz. Leading off, the second baseman, number 3, Ian Kitzler. Batting second, the third baseman, number 11, Ty Kelly. Batting third, the first baseman, number 19, Danny Valencia. Batting fourth, the catcher, number 36, Ryan LaVarnway. Batting fifth, the right fielder, number 9, Nick Rickles. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 8, Scott Burcham. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 4, Rob Pollard. Batting eighth, the center fielder, number 24, Asaf Lowengardt. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 22, Mitch Glasser. The extra hitter for Team Israel, number 23, Ben Winger. The pitcher for Team Israel, number 12, Shlomo Leipitz. The coaches for Team Israel are Andrew Lorraine, Nate Goldberg, Nate Fish, Richard Canea. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the starting lineup for your Bethesda Big Train. Big Train bat boy Owen Weaver is carrying out the flag of the United States of America. And the Big Train manager Sal Colangelo leads his team. Leading off for the Bethesda Big Train, number 2, the center fielder, Riley Johnson. The left fielder, number 8, Darius Foster. The second baseman, number 12, Matt Thomas. The first baseman, number 33, Kemp Alderman. The designated hitter, number 4, Grant Niff. The third baseman, number 23, Nolan Shanuel. The catcher, number 15, Danny Nerai. The right fielder, number 20, Brady Gump. And the shortstop, number 9, Keith Torres. The starting pitcher for the Bethesda Big Train, number 30, Grayson Hitch. The reserves for the Israeli national team, number 30, Jeremy Bleich. Number 20, Eric Brodkowitz. Number 21, Jonathan DeMarte. Number 7, Tal Erel. Number 47, Alex Katz. Number 29, Alan Leichman. Number 27, John Moscott. Number 37, Dean Pellman. Number 6, Zach Penbrace. Number 32, Simon Rosenbaum. Number 33, Jake Rosenberg. Number 10, David Sharabi. Number 35, Matt Soren. Number 14, Joey Blackman. Number 5, Jeremy Wolf. And number 28, Josh Zai. The reserves for the Bethesda Big Train, number 44, Luke Baker. Number 32, Matt Bedford. Number 17, Chris Buchholz. Number 14, Jack Braley. Number 28, Noah Carvajal. Number 24, Everett Catlett. Number 16, Danny Tchaikovsky. Number 13, Jack Cohn. Number 22, Ryan Doherty. Number 27, Trevor Doyle. Number 35, Jake Eddington. Number 39, Josh Gross. Number 37, Dylan Hatfield. Number 10, Matt Howitt. Number 36, Zach Locke. Number 29, Ryan Lynch. Number 6, Christian Martin. Number 8, Ryan Metz. Number 1, Rocco Pepe. Number 34, Kyle Robinson. Number 25, Cooper Rons. And the staff for the Bethesda Big Train is Galvin Morris, Greg Lopez, Bob O'Connor, Sam Bender, Chris Devlin, and the athletic trainer, Dr. Christy Voigt. Now back to Bob Levy with a very special introduction.
Thank you, Sean, and thank you, teams. Congratulations to both teams. Now it's my honor to introduce a group called Sheer Madness. That's S-H-I-R Madness, not to be confused with the show that many of you may have seen over the years at the Kennedy Center or elsewhere. These are students at the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School, and they will perform for us the national anthems of Israel and the United States. Ladies. Please rise. Thank you so much, ladies. And now, as the teams gather at home plate for the official photograph of the friendship game, I have the privilege of introducing some of Montgomery County's finest public servants. And I would ask them to stand and be recognized as I name them. Please hold your applause until I have named everybody. Thank you. From the state of Maryland, the Attorney General of the state of Maryland, Brian Frosch, the Maryland Secretary of Aging, Rona E. Kramer, Maryland Senator Cheryl Kagan, and Maryland delegates Mark Corman, Pam Queen, and Jared Solomon. And then from Montgomery County, our former county executive Ike Leggett, and county council members Gabe Albornoz and Andrew Friedson. And let me not forget a very important person, the Big Train's landlord here in Cabochon Regional Park, is Natalie Fonte Gonzalez, a member of the Maryland National Capital Park and Planning Commission. Natalie, please share with your colleagues our appreciation for all that Montgomery Parks has done to get Povich Field in such great shape for tonight's game. Well done. We appreciate it. Thanks to all the public officials for being here tonight. And now, Sean is going to say the magic words that will get us going. Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls at Shirley Povich Field, let's play ball!
At that position.
So good evening from Shirley Povich Field. 6 teams will compete for the world's highest honor in the game of baseball, the Olympic gold medal, and one of them comes here to Shirley Povich Field tonight. For Big Train TV, Ben Bobek and Tyler Gallo from the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth as we say good evening for this Big Train Bethesda Big Train versus Team Israel friendship game. And it starts with a Grayson hit pitch outside at 9:20, 7 minutes past our scheduled first pitch time. And hours of baseball await us here, Tyler. A fantastic evening, a beautiful night for baseball at 72 degrees, and it's a pleasure to be with you here.
Dude, it's just absolutely incredible to be here tonight, and what a test for Grayson Hitt out of Alabama to take on one of the best hitters of our time watching baseball growing up, Ian Kinsler, leading things off here. You know, almost 2,000 hits to his name in Major League Baseball, and facing off and on a 4-pitch walk to him. Maybe a bit of nerves here from Grayson Hitt, but for those of you joining us for the first time, Grayson Hitt this season has been striking out the world for Bethesda and has just been in command of the strike zone. So that's a very uncharacteristic walk from him this season.
Hit number 30 for the Big Train in that deep forest green. Ty Kelly, the third baseman tonight for Team Israel, will step to the bat now out of the 2-hole. Danny Valencia, the first baseman, on deck. We'll get to the rest of the Team Israel starting lineup in just a moment as Hitt pounds the strike zone there.
Ty Kelly, Mets legend, taking the plate here. One of my favorite players during his time on the Mets. It was a very fleeting time on the Mets, but man, does he have a lifetime 1,000 postseason batting average to his name.
And quickly 0-2 here against Grayson Hitt, the rising sophomore, as you mentioned, at the University of Alabama in the fall to come. A sensational season for the Big Train. And looking to start things off strong here tonight for head coach Sal Colangelo. Catcher Danny Nerai sits up on the outside edge. Hit from the stretch, fires the 0-2, missing outside with the off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kinsler, as we said, reached on the 4-pitch walk to start the defense behind Grayson Hitt. Kemp Alderman out of Ole Miss at first. Matt Thomas out of William & Mary at second. Keith Torres out of Sacramento State at shortstop. Nolan Shanuel, the freshman All-American at Florida Atlantic, will get a chance to field that one. No chance for 2. He'll fire it over to Alderman at first. Kelly is retired via the fielder's choice. Down to second goes Ian Kinsler. And that'll bring up Danny Valencia, the first baseman tonight, a corner outfielder in his time in the major leagues.
Yeah, really
a bubbling personality as we saw before the game.
Yeah, we talked to him before the game, but really nowhere to hide for Grayson Hitt for these first 4 batters. 4 former major leaguers or current. Brian LaVarnway on deck is currently in the Indians organization, and what a leap there at third base by Nolan Shanuel. Normally at first base this season, really looks like an old pro out there at third with the absence of Rocco Pepe due to injury.
Able to use all of that 6'3" frame out there in the hot corner, and now hit back to the stretch here with a runner on second, 1 out. Pops Nearey's mid a little bit outside, and it's ball 1 on Danny Valencia wearing number 19 in the Israel blue and white. Sparkling tops for them tonight. Gray pants, blue socks, matte blue helmets with the Israel flag sporting proudly off the back. Big Train green and white all over. Here's the 0-1 bender in there, called strike 1.
You know, Danny Valencia's really been lighting it up with Israel through these first couple of tune-up games, and I only expect him to do more of that. Former guy, hit almost 800 hits in Major League Baseball, played with a bunch of teams, and a guy that just was very good during his time in Major League Baseball.
So here's the 1-1 high. On deck for Team Israel, Ryan LaVarnway, another one of those minor leaguers currently taking time off to come play with this team as they prepare for the Tokyo Olympics coming up next week. Behind him, the right fielder, Nick Rickles. Scott Burcham, the shortstop, bats 6th. Rob Power, the DH. Asaf Loengart, the center fielder. Mitchell Glasser, the left fielder, round out the traditional 9 as Valencia takes a big swing and miss through that one to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ben Wanger is the extra hitter for Team Israel tonight, using a 10-batter lineup as they prepare, of course. This is a 7-inning exhibition game. We'll play by international rules, which means, as this is an exhibition game in preparation for the Olympics, we'll play the bottom of the 7th, even if the Big Train are ahead, as Valencia sends this one way high out of play towards the parking lot. Very busy here in front of this sellout crowd at Shirley Povich Field, a bustling atmosphere, and just a spectacular night for baseball, as we've said time and time again. Hit will come to the set, check back, runner off second. He'll have a chance to get him over to Sean Ewell. They've got Ian Kinsler, old 1999 Major League hits in a rundown. Sean Ewell tried to tag him out, and it does. Kinsler caught in a half-sour pickle, and there's two gone in the top of the first.
How about that? Kinsler maybe going a little bit too early there and stepping off the mound. I mean, you know, Ian Kinsler, like you said, 1,999 Major League hits to his name, a couple of All-Star appearances, and, you know, a World Series.
A World Series ring.
But I mean, Sean Ewell's like, I just ran down Ian Kinsler, but man, what a first inning this has been. And, you know, I am not expecting Grayson Hitt to really be his normal in-command self in this outing, but he is staring him down like he normally does.
Base is clear now, hit back to the stretch, misses that one, and it's ball 3, so count full on Danny Valencia. Hit to the windup, misses outside. Nice frame effort there from Near-Eye, and Danny Valencia will be the second batter to reach via the base on balls here, bringing up the newest addition to the Team Israel batting order. Ryan Lavarnway just arrived from the Cleveland organization yesterday, met up with the team, and now hits in the 4 spot here, and will catch Shlomo Lipetz, who will take the mound for Israel in the bottom of the first.
Shlomo
Grayson
Lipetz,
Hitt
yeah, he's
with
been
a little
here,
more work to do.
Been here for quite some time. 2007 WBC, way back when. But you know, Ryan Lavarnway, a guy that's been around quite a bit, been to a couple of Major League teams. Nice strike there from Hitt. You know, played earlier this year with the Indians and looking to get back to that. But of course, taking some break off for the Olympics. When I interviewed him before the game, he's like, "It's the Olympics, man. That's what I'm looking forward to." And a really, really nice guy.
Just part of the pomp and circumstance that makes this tournament and this preparation so special. Off-speed pitch there from Hitt, misses a little tight on Lavarnway, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Lavarnway's played parts of 10 seasons in the major leagues, including, as you mentioned, appearances earlier this year for Cleveland. That one a little bit outside as well. 2-1 now.
Maybe
stops with the Red Sox and the Pirates, A's, Braves, Reds, Orioles, and Marlins after playing at Yale for his collegiate career.
Definitely a big East Coast guy.
He cracks this one foul back towards the Israel dugout down the first base line. Broken bat, perhaps? New fresh
broken bat.
lumber.
Splintered it completely on the top half. Look at that.
A little souvenir for somebody eventually. For now, Lavarnway will need a piece of lumber that'll fit a little bit more for this at-bat. 2-2 from Grayson Hitt.
A lot bigger than I expected him to be standing next to him. You know, I mean, I'm 5'9", and these guys sort of towered over me. But very, very personable guy, you know. Really enjoyed our time talking to him. And, you know, Grayson Hitt is in a position to get out of here with a big 0 in the first inning.
Hitt walked the first batter, Ian Kinsler, on 4 pitches. Eventually got him in a rundown. Here's the 2-2 to Lavarnway. Another broken bat. Blooper off of his hands towards the second baseman, Matt Thomas. He'll scoop it over on the run, flipping it to Kemp Alderman. So Team Israel gets 2 batters. They're going to say, is that a foul ball? Catcher's interference.
Oh, wow.
So catcher's interference, and instead of Grayson Hitt being out of this inning relatively harmlessly, Nick Rickles, the right fielder, will have a chance to do some damage with runners on first and second. Still 2 outs here in the top of the first.
So the big train this season actually had a catcher's interference double play turned against them, which might have been the funkiest thing I've ever seen in a Major League Baseball game. But reaching there, as I think Near-Eye just got in the way of Lavarnway as he was running to first base, might be why he broke his bat too. Lavarnway just getting on. I mean, that was crazy. Hit about 2 miles an hour, but he got aboard. Shows how good of a hitter he is.
Lavarnway, the MVP of the Pool A play in that 2017 WBC that brought Team Israel to the stage, to the biggest, one of the biggest stages in the baseball world, called strike 1 on Rickles. That one just above the knees, and Hitt with a chance to get out of here at a 0-2 count on Rickles, the power hitting utility man. Plays catcher, plays corner outfield. Out of Stetson University, drafted by the A's in 2011. Near-Eye setting up outside for the 0-2. Hit from the stretch, checks back on the runner at second. Misses just a bit outside there. Found the spot. Rickles not chasing, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
very hulking presence out there on the mound, or in the dish there for Nick Rickles, and he's been crushing the ball for this team.
Hit .316 in the 5 qualifying games. We'll get to that in a little bit, as Hit delivers a curveball that misses high to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hit with upwards of 40 strikeouts on the season for the Big Train in Cal Ripken Collegiate Baseball League play. And looking for something here with 2 outs, 2 on for Team Israel. And trying to hang a 0 to start off this friendship game. Here's the 2-2. Hit high in the air, left side. Darius Foster coming in. Shortstop Keith Torres coming out. Foster will call him off and take it himself. So the Big Train get 2 on board for Team Israel's offense. But Grayson Hit pitches around to get out of it. 0-0. Heading to the bottom of the second here on Big Train TV.
Now general manager of Team Israel and the guy most responsible for organizing this team and getting them to Tokyo. Peter, how does it feel to know that a team representing Israel will be in Tokyo on worldwide television doing their thing?
It's incredible to think about. I mean, we have 9 medals, Olympic medals in Israel. We have 9 Olympic medals in Israel, and we're hoping to bring back the 10th medal. The first medal, if anybody who knows about it, was about 25 years ago in judo, and that just pushed judo to the forefront of the sport in Israel. Today, there's about 800 kids playing baseball in Israel, and we're definitely hoping that our participation in the Olympics will really boost that sport, the sport baseball in Israel. We're building 2 fields right now in Beit Shemesh and Ra'anana. There's tractors up now building those fields, and we're really hoping that together with the new fields, together with our appearance in the Olympics, baseball will double and triple the number of players there. And I want to send an invitation to anybody here who wants to come to Israel to make Aliyah and to play for our Israel national team. We'd love to have you. People ask me what the qualifications are. You have to be Israeli. So anybody who wants to come, make Aliyah and come to Israel. Thank you.
One final question for you, Peter. Any predictions?
I said before we would medal. That's my prediction.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Fans, if you have standing room only tickets, you are welcome to stand on the left field side by the Big Train tent. Plenty of room over there. And also make sure to pick up your commemorative program and ticket over at the table by the flagpole. Leading off for the Bethesda Big Train, the center fielder from East Carolina University, number 2, Riley Johnson.
So Riley Johnson out of East Carolina University will play center field and lead off for the Big Train offense here against Shlomo Lipitz, the longest tenured player on Team Israel, native of Tel Aviv on the Mediterranean coast in the state of Israel. Pitched in the only season of the Israel Baseball League back in 2007. And we'll start off with that sidearm motion, pounding the zone for a strike on Riley Johnson.
And a guy that, has been around here, knows what he's doing, and that very funky sidearm delivery, which I really enjoy. Won't throw it in there like 95 or anything, but that delivery can be tough to pick up for some hitters, and we'll see what Riley Johnson does to adjust here.
And quickly ahead here, 0-2 on Johnson, the speedy center fielder. This one runs a little tight. Called ball.
Lipitz, I believe, works at the City Winery in New York.
Yes, he's an event vice president of programming. Does work. Says Johnson laces the 1-2 straight to center field. And there goes the no-hitter for Lipitz as Johnson reaches as the first man aboard here for the Big Train offense. They'll bat like this tonight. Darius Foster, the left fielder, made the final out of the top of the first in left, and he bats second out of the University of San Francisco. Second baseman Matt Thomas hitting third. First baseman tonight out of Ole Miss, Kemp Alderman, will clean things up. Grant Knipp, the designated hitter out of Campbell, bats fifth. Nolan Shawnuel out of Florida Atlantic, the third baseman, bats sixth. Danny Neary, the catcher out of Notre Dame. Brady Gump, the right fielder, also from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, and Keith Torres, the shortstop out of Sacramento State. 7, 8, 9 to round out the batting order for Big Train manager Sal Colangelo in the CRCBL Hall of Fame. Recently surpassed 500 victories in this league and looking to manage his team through an extraordinary experience tonight. Lippitz with a sidearm pickoff move as well as he checks off Johnson off at first. 1-0 to Foster at the plate.
Yeah, 2007, first year for Shlomo Lippitz on this team, and about the same age as my father, but he's out there pitching and I'm up here broadcasting.
As we said, Lippitz, the longest tenured player on Team Israel, a steady presence there on the pitching staff and looking to start things off. Foster shows bunt again on the 1-0 and pulls back. Curveball misses outside. 2-0 now on Foster.
For Darius,
a lot of speed at the top of this
yeah.
Big Train batting order tonight.
And that's the name of Foster's game. The batting average on balls in play king. Man puts the ball in the infield and he'll beat it out, and also one of the leaders in stolen bases in the CRCBL.
Hoping to get the chance to move his teammate Riley Johnson on first base up a little bit as he works a 3-0 count here. Patient presence at the plate. And that one finds the dish. 3-1 now.
Really great to see how many people are here at the ballpark tonight. Just a tremendous atmosphere this game has been from the start.
3-1, finds the strike zone on the inside edge, and Lippitz able to work it back to 3 balls and 2 strikes on Foster. Count is full. Capacity only crowd here at Shirley Povich Field. 750 seats all sold, plus about 120 standing room only down each outfield side. Johnson moves on the 3-2. Foster fouls this off out of play towards the tennis courts to our left here at Cabin John Regional Park.
These guys are a bit starstruck here tonight with some of these former major leaguers on this squad.
Well, if they are, they're not going to try to show it out there on the field. They're going to do their best to go out there and compete. Despite this only being an exhibition game, I know they want to do their best and play the game the right way, as Coach Colangelo likes to say. 3-2 again on Foster. The Pets from the stretch. This one inside, called ball 4. And just as Team Israel had 2 on base in the top of the first, Big Train with a quick 2 runners on board here in the bottom for the second baseman out of the College of William and Mary, Matt Thomas.
Thomas this season has been one of the most consistent hitters in the CRCBL, and really just a guy that you want to be watching when he's up at the dish. In his last outing in Alexandria, went yard. Well, 2 outings ago, I guess, when they played, because they played Gaithersburg in between that.
And he hits this one high in the air on the first pitch he sees. Center fielder coming in, tracking under it, and makes the grab. Soft low and guard out there. Bringing up Kemp Alderman, the big right-handed hitter out of Ole Miss, and walking up to your favorite song, Tyler, Baby Shark.
I don't know where you've been informed of this, but that is not my favorite song. I would much rather roll up to Cult of Personality by Living Colour. But Kemp Alderman, you know, was getting oohs and ahs as he always does in batting practice. But from these guys, that's just big credit. Shows how good, fun it is to watch this guy when he takes BP.
As you said, Danny Valencia took the second to ask as he sharps this one straight to Kelly at third base. Over to Kinsler, and in time to Valencia. 5-4-3, the double play turned by the Team Israel infield, and they avoid all damage there. So Big Train get 2 on with nobody out, and the Israel defense works right out of it. We stay scoreless, heading to the middle of the second here on Big Train TV.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined now by Tammy Ben-Haim, who is the Minister for Public Diplomacy at Israel's Embassy. The embassy has quite a cheering section here tonight. What does this game mean to those of you serving in the embassy?
So, Lowen Guard and center.
What it means a lot to see the Israeli national baseball team here. But more than that, more than just for Israel, we work for the Israeli relationship. Which is something that the embassy that we cultural and try to promote every day. We try to show common meaning, common culture, how similar we are, how better we are, if we work together.
to say that baseball is its national pastime. Can you ever imagine Israel saying that baseball is its national pastime?
We don't have a pastime. We're always busy and running around. But definitely, I mean, baseball has been growing the past few years, and it's been doing a lot of good for kids also. It's bringing different kids from different communities together, and it is growing. So I think with that, it might not be the national pastime, but it will be a super popular pastime.
Amy Ben Hayim, thank you very much.
Now pitching for the Bethesda Big Train, number 35, out of the University of Alabama, Jake Eddington. Now batting for Team Israel, the shortstop, number 8, Scott Burcham.
Shortstop Scott Burcham will lead off for Team Israel. Here in the top of the second against the new pitcher, also out of the University of Alabama, Jake Eddington. Limited innings for all of the Big Train pitching staff here in the 7-game exhibition friendly. And his first pitch misses a little bit outside on Burcham, wearing number 8.
If you had on your bingo card that the Big Train would have the first hit tonight of
Yeah.
the game, you might be getting close to something, or you might want to go to the lottery tomorrow.
Absolutely. That one a little bit outside there. 2-0 now on Burcham. Shortstop in the Colorado Rockies organization. Former, I guess, shares an alma mater with some of the Big Train players. Keith Torres, shortstop tonight, and bench outfielder Trevor Doyle. Torres with a chance to shine as he throws out the former Sacramento State Hornet there. Burcham at second on a great play, charging to his right and firing over to Alderman in time to retire Burcham for the first out.
That's the book there on Keith Torres, defensive wizard, and also has a great eye at the plate, a guy you're going to see working a ton of counts, and a guy that really just plays very sound defense. He's got almost eyes on the back of his head, and exactly who you want playing at the 6th spot in your lineup.
So New York native Rob Poller, Columbia University, former first-team All-Ivy League designated hitter tonight. Batting behind Burcham, comes to the plate here to face Eddington with one gone, and pumps at the first pitch he sees, taken inside for ball one. Debuted for Team Israel in 2019, has hit 5 home runs with 13 RBIs in his 20 games and helping the team qualify for the Olympic Games, as that one misses outside and high. So they started in the European Championship B pool, Tyler. Their path to qualification as the representative of Europe and North Africa for the Olympic Games, one of 6 teams competing, along with the United States, Korea, Dominican Republic, Mexico, and Japan. They'll play in the group with South Korea, the U.S., and themselves. Tough matchup early on, but this is a team that, dating back to that 2017 WBC, as we've seen, has a penchant for building an underdog story, as Jake Eddington works his way back into the count here, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I really think most people remember their run during the 2017 World Baseball Classic. It was special to watch. I mean, they were just pulling out upset after upset, seemingly every game, and it was just fun to watch. And you all heard about it in the news. I mean, Josh Zeid's performance in that tournament was unmatched. And, of course, Ryan Lavarnway named Pool A MVP of that.
2-2 misses outside from Eddington. 3-2 the count full on Poller now. As you said, they started off with 3 straight upsets in the Seoul group stage. Netherlands, South Korea, and Taiwan all fell to this team, Israel, to allow the Israelis to advance to the second round. Here's the 3-2 to Poller. Check swing. And he did not go around, says our third base umpire, so he works the full count walk, and he'll be a runner on here for center fielder and 8-hole hitter, Asaf Lowengardt.
Eddington in his last start really was victimized by both self-inflicted wounds and poor defense, and he allowed 6 runs in an inning, and that really stood as the difference. But Eddington, a guy that really has just come into his own as the years gone along, a guy that pumps it at around 95, and a guy that I'm sure Alabama's happy to have him. And Rob Poller there at the dish, I mean, I love that stance. I love that little crouch stance that he had. But now more set up and open is soft Lowengardt.
Off speed there from Eddington. Misses a little bit. And it's 1-0 on Lowengardt. Infield outfielder, utility man. Mansfield University product. Takes that one for a called strike. Israeli native. Started playing baseball at age 11. Joined club baseball in Tel Aviv at 16. He's played all over San Joaquin Delta College, JUCO in California, before making it to Mansfield. Eddington, a workhorse for Alabama this past season. Led all freshmen in innings pitched out of the pen. Here's the 1-1 from him. Rocking some sweet flow at the back of his cap as well. Low and away there. 2 balls, 1 strike on Lowengardt. He's got some pop in his bat. 11 home runs at Mansfield. It takes that one tight. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Eddington will just look to find the zone here with a runner on and 1 out here in the top of the second.
Good hitters count here for a soft Lowengardt where he can attack. Is there we see that good pickoff move from Jake Eddington. Quick to the bag is Eddington, and Alderman almost anticipating that every time.
A couple of SEC rivals there on first base and on the bump. Working together tonight for the big train. Here's the 3-1. And that misses low for ball 4, so 2 consecutive walks here after the leadoff ground out by Bertram, and that'll bring up the left fielder Mitchell Glosser out of the 9-hole. A reminder, of course, exhibition, an extra hitter on deck for Team Israel, Ben Wanger. For now, it's Mitchell Glasser. As we said, left fielder stepping into the box with 1 on and 2 outs. Or with 2 on and 1 out.
How about a .645 slugging percentage for Mr. Asaf Lowengardt at Mansfield this year? You know, but Glasser batting in the 9 spot, looking to get a rare RBI in the 9 spot. You don't see RBI chances in the 9 spot too much.
Uri sitting up outside as Eddington checks back on the runner off second. Poller fires that one a little bit low, and he's missed on a few consecutive balls now. It's 1-0 on Glasser, who joined Team Israel way back in 2016 for the WBC qualifiers back then. Infielder with the Sioux Falls Canaries after playing at Macalester College. It's a fun one to say. Here's the 1-0 outside with the off speed. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Drafted by the Chicago White Sox. A long career in the independent leagues.
Not quite, you know, the CRCBL for Jake Eddington where you'll get these guys to chase. These guys have more refined eyes at the plate. Guys that have seen much top-tier pitching. So we'll see how Eddington attacks here. He's got 2-0. Really not hitting his spots.
4 walks through 2 innings for the big train pitching. Team Israel showing off a patient approach at the plate, but for sure so far. That one finds zone, but pops out of near eyes mitt. He collects it in time to hold Poller at second. Lowengardt at first. 1 out here. Top of the second. 2-1 on Mitch Glasser, the left fielder. Played in all 20 games of Olympic qualification this summer of 2019. That one finds the inside edge of the plate, and it's 2-2. Started in the B pool in Bulgaria, 6-0 in those July games. Then went to the best of 3 against Lithuania, late July 2019, to get to the European Championships in Germany. En route to their path to Tokyo. This one hit high in the air over our heads towards the parking lot and well out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Glasser.
Luckily, we don't have to worry about those hitting our cars today. We're parked
way
well
out of
away.
here.
As under normal circumstances, we'd be basically behind home plate, and there's that danger, but not tonight.
So after those European Championships in Germany, 5 teams advanced from that tournament to the Europe-Africa qualifiers, which would be later that year in Italy. in the Euro Championships. Team Israel went 5-2. Their only losses to the Netherlands and Italy. And in that qualifying tournament, only the tournament winner would clinch one of the 6 Olympic berths for the return of baseball to the Olympic Games. Swing and a miss there from Glasser on a great breaking ball from Jake Eddington. He records the first strikeout for Big Train pitching here tonight. Second out here in the top of the second, bringing up Ben Wenger, the extra hitter.
See what Ben Wenger is up to at the plate, and with the 10 spot in the order. Interesting. So that'll turn over for Ian Kinsler on deck.
As you said, Kinsler and the top of the order. Due up. Should Wenger extend this inning as Eddington takes that right foot off the bump. Checking back off. Pollard still off second. Both runners on first and second reach via the walk. Still no hits given up by Big Train pitching here tonight. 2 gone as Eddington digs that back cleat in to the dirt. Out there on the mound, 60 feet and 6 inches from Ben Wenger. Steps into the left-handed batter's box at the plate. Near setting up outside. First pitch there. Finds a spot, not chasing his Wenger. And it's 1-0. So in that Europe-Africa Olympic qualifier, a 3-0 win over Spain. The big one, an 8-1 win over Netherlands. An 8-2 win over Italy to avenge those 2 losses in the Euro Championships, and then closed it out with a loss to Czech Republic in group play before an 11-1 win over South Africa to book their ticket to Tokyo. Had to wait a year in between with the games being delayed last summer, of course, due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And they have battled their way back, just as they battled their way into existence, really, in that 2017 WBC. And now getting a chance to compete at the Olympic Games. Opening ceremonies next Friday. 1-1 count here from Eddington. He kicks, he fires out of the stretch. That one catches the inside part of the plate, and he has a 1-2 count on Wenger.
Really working that inside portion of the plate on every batter in this inning is Jake Eddington, and we've seen him live and die by that inside pitch this year. A guy that high strikeouts, and his ERA is a bit bloated by 1 bad start.
So here's the 1-2. Runners go, but that one is in the dirt, swung on by Wenger. Bottom of the order, 2 consecutive strikeouts for Team Israel. They strand 2 runners for consecutive innings. And Big Train Bats will get another chance when we come back here on Big Train TV.
All the frontline community heroes who work tirelessly to get our community through these challenging times. Tonight we're pleased to welcome to Shirley Povich Field 6 of the vital community organizations that have served us so well. The Charles E. Smith Life Communities, Jewish Social Service Agency, Jewish Council for the Aging, the Hebrew Free Loan Association of Greater Washington, Sunflower Bakery, and the Jewish Foundation for Group Homes. Right here on the first baseline, our frontline community heroes are sitting and right now standing. Thank you all. Let's give a round of applause for all they do and have done for the community. Well done. And thank you very much to the sponsors of our frontline community heroes, the Dreywick Foundation, the Seacrest family, and Melanie Folstad, RBC Wealth Management. Thank you, folks.
The designated hitter from Campbell University, number 4, Grant Yip.
Grant Knipp starts things off here for Big Train. back to the bat against Shlomo Lipitz here, and quickly 0-2 on the Campbell Camel. Designated hitter tonight for Sal Colangelo and the Big Train. Gonna get things going offensively. He torches one to left field. That baby's gone!
Wow.
Grant Knipp turns on one and obliterates a baseball down the left field line. It's 1-0 Big Train.
Well, we've seen the power from Grant Knipp this season, and that's no stranger to that right there. What a blast off the bat of Knipp. Sends it into the woods. I mean, that ball was gone. And Grant Knipp showing off that power. We've seen it plenty of times this year, and that is just how much he brings to this team.
Breaking pitch slightly hanging from the sidearm angle of Lipitz. And Knipp all over that one as he pulls it into the left field forest for the first run of this game, giving the Big Train a 1-0 lead over Team Israel here. And Lipitz will go back to work against Nolan Shawnuel. Bounds the strike zone there. So an 0-2 count on Grant Knipp. And he was able to work back as quick as you ever can. Torching that one down the left field line. As this one works back inside, Shawnuel able to get out of the way. It's 1-1. Again inside from Lipitz, and it's 2-1 now.
So they have a shift on Shawnuel. How about that?
Guess getting all the advanced data they need. This one fouled off right side. So yeah, shift on. 3 infielders to the right of the second base bag. As you can slightly see there. I believe that's Ty Kelly, the third baseman. Only person basically playing the shortstop position. Shawnuel will see if he can work the other way. Has shown the tendency to pull as he fouls that one off the other way, but well out of play behind the clubhouse here at Povich Field. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I think we're seeing, if I'm not mistaken, Matt Bedford next inning out of the pen to start things off.
Trying to keep the arms fresh as Shawnuel turns on this one. Sends it high in the air. Rickles, the right fielder, under it. Collects it. And Shawnuel is retired for the first out of that one. Not able to beat the shift. And there's one gone.
Yeah, and coming up, Danny Nearai, guy that has a connection with baseball, ESPN, not baseball, basketball insider, Adrian Wojnarowski. His dad and him were childhood friends, and a guy that has been named a CRCBL All-Star.
So congratulations to Danny. Well deserving as a defensive catcher. Steps into the box here with 1 gone. Shows bunt against the lefty shift still.
Ty Kelly's just going to come in and play a little bit over to the left a little bit, you know.
I mean, if he can get that down, Kelly would have long way to run there from the shallow shortstop position now. We see Burcham, the shortstop, just to the right of the second base bag. Kinsler deep in the hole on the outfield grass. Valencia in his normal spot off of first base in that well-tread dirt. Here's the 1-1 to Nearai, fouled towards the standing room only section beyond the Big Train dugout up the third base line, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, and there's going to be some defensive changes for the Big Train as well in the later innings. I think 4 to 7, they're going to turn over the lineup card a little bit, change the things up.
Here's the 1-2. Nearai chops this one up the middle. Burcham, the shortstop, takes it from the second base position, fires over in time. And there's 2 gone here in the bottom of the second. And I believe we will see a pitching change here. Eric Holes, the manager for Team Israel, will take the ball from Shlomo Lipitz, and that will be that. So an inning in 2/3 from Lipitz. He allows just the 1 earned run and a hefty applause from a lovely crowd here at Povich Field. And we'll have a new pitcher here for Team Israel.
Yeah, it's going to be David Shirabi, the right-hander, out of the bullpen. 29 years of age and coming in, looking to maybe end this inning and cap it off on a good note. Shirabi, of course, a guy that
Three-sport star in high school.
Yeah, he grew up in Northern California, like some of these guys here. And, pitched with Sioux Falls in the American Association and was the winning pitcher in the quarterfinals against France to clinch Israel's spot at the Olympic baseball qualifier. So a very star-studded resume for Shirabi. He's coming in looking to just get outs.
Absolutely. He also currently pitches in Sioux Falls as well for the Canaries, a minor league team out there in South Dakota. Deeply observant Jew. And I can't imagine keeping kosher out there in Sioux Falls is easy by any means, but he makes it work. Impressed by that as he comes in here as the second Israel arm out of the pen.
Yeah, we'll see what he's doing here. It's going to go from sidearm to over the top, so a bit of an adjustment for Big Train. Brady Gump coming to the dish, the right fielder this season. Gump's been one word in clutch. He's been on really just a tear lately at the dish. Really been exciting to watch him play of late, and we'll see how Shirabi goes to work against him here.
So 2 outs, 1 home so far for the Big Train here in this inning off the Grant Nip torch to left field. Not an Olympic torch, just a baseball that was torched. And Brady Gump will come to the bat here. Right fielder tonight also out of Notre Dame, along with the pitcher who, like you said, we believe we'll be seeing for the top half of this inning, Matt Bedford, along with Danny Neride, just retired. So 2 outs. And LaVarnway will be catching a new arm here. First pitch swung on and missed there on the heater by Gump.
Yeah, the outfielder that enters to the outfield. Your love by the outfield is at-bat song, much like Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies.
So out of the stretch here, this one high and tight on Gump, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike from Shirabi.
Goes by DJ.
David Jr., I would assume. Did not allow an earned run in 6 innings in those European championships, and uses the off-speed perfectly there to get the swing and miss there from Gump. Has him right where he wants him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Shirabi comes set, hands high in the stretch. Drops him to the belt. He kicks, he fires. This one hit high in the air, left center field. Lowengardt with a wild run, but he settles under it and collects it. 3 gone here, and the side is retired in the bottom of the second, but not before our first excitement of the night, as Grant Nip gives the Big Train a 1-0 lead with a big fly to left field. We'll take a break and be right back here on Big Train TV after we reflect on this moment in the career of one of the great major leaguers on the roster tonight for Team Israel.
Mark, what does this game mean to you and to baseball in the Washington area?
And that sets up his changeup, which he'll throw any time.
Kinsler hits one in the air to deep left field. Back goes Jennings at the wall. That ball is gone. Ian Kinsler starts off game 4 with a home run. And 32 regular season home runs, and the Rangers start game 4 off with a bang.
He had 4 leadoff home runs during the regular season, and that was a mistake.
Top of the third here on Big Train TV. It's a 1-0 Big Train lead as we see some of the funky things that come along with this international exhibition game in preparation for the international rules that will be in play during the Tokyo Olympics to come. We'll see a runner start on second base in both half innings to come here in the third. As Matt Bedford out of Notre Dame, as we were saying, new pitcher in for the Big Train. Starts off the top of the order here, and Ian Kinsler, who you just saw there in the NLDS, with a ball inside. ALDS.
It's all right, Ben. Yeah, that and the leadoff home run off of Jeremy Hellickson. I mean, he crushed that ball at the Trop, and just one of many great moments during Ian Kinsler's career. He hit for the cycle one time, 30 for 30 or 30-30 seasons multiple times.
Tough to choose when looking at his career highlights. Here's the 1-0. That one finds the zone for called strike just above the knees on Kinsler. First strike he's seen today. Reached on a four-pitch walk, in the top of the first. Advanced to second before being picked off. Trying to time up. Grayson Hitt, the starter for the Big Train tonight's motion. Nice pickoff move from Hitt towards Sean Ewell at third base, who was able to run him down for the second out of that first inning here. 2-1 now on Kinsler, World Series champion with the Boston Red Sox. All-time great second baseman in the major leagues.
A guy that was extremely underrated in his time, too. Just went out and did work every single day at the ballpark, and one of the best Rangers to ever do it.
Absolutely. Texas legend. Gets one off the end of the bat here on the 3-1 count. Foul over the right side. So as we said, the runner starting on second base as if it were an extra inning here. It'll be Mitchell Glasser as the 9-hole hitter. Technically the last Team Israel batter to be retired if you don't count Wagner, the extra hitter, as this one is scorched down the left field line by Kinsler. That'll score the runner off second. Kinsler motoring all the way to home, getting down, play at the plate, and he's going to be caught out. Wanger, they had both the 9 and the extra hitter on first and second there. They scored Glasser from second, Kinsler all the way down to third on the throw home with an RBI double, advancing to third to tie the game here at 1-1 in the top of the third.
I have no clue how to score that because there was 2 runners on, but there's one out in this inning for Bedford to work with, and of course, nowhere to hide, like I said earlier, in these next 3 batters in Kelly, Valencia, and Lavarnway. Kelly, the switch hitter, by the way, we saw him bat on the right side for Grayson Hitt, and now he's batting on the left side for Matt Bedford. Or excuse me, other way around. Yeah, no, I got it. The righty.
The right side of the plate from our perspective.
Yeah, the righty
left-handed batter's box.
I just have my
He
head.
scorches this one down the left field line again. That's going to stay fair. Kinsler will trot home from third. Kelly motoring for second, and Team Israel takes the lead here on consecutive RBI base knocks by their 2 leadoff guys in Kinsler and Kelly. The K's doing work for Team Israel tonight, not in the way the Big Train would like, and it's 2-1.
Ty Kelly, just a splendid hitter in the minor leagues during his time, and of course was a very good hitter from the right side, if I'm not mistaken, in the major leagues. And there, batting from the left side, pokes one in the opposite field. Funky.
Couple nice pieces of hitting there from 2 former major leaguers, just poking it down. And this one scorched straight in front of Darius Foster. That will get down. He'll field it on 1 hop, and Valencia takes the first pitch he sees from Bedford. And there's runners on the corners here with Team Israel threatening to expand this 2-1 lead.
And with Lavarnway up, you got to hope for a ground ball here if you're Matt Bedford, but really just, I mean, tremendous pieces of hitting. Of course, you're going to say that with former major leaguers coming to the plate, but all placed in the same spot. Kinsler smoked it down the line. A line drive base hit for Ty Kelly again down the line, and then right in front of Darius Foster, once again, a little cue shot for Danny Valencia. Well, this isn't much of a cue shot. He smoked that ball, too.
Hard hit line drive straight to the left fielder, Foster. No chance for him to make a play on that one as quickly as it got to him out there in the outfield grass. As Bedford works quickly now on Lavarnway. Out of the Cleveland organization, as we said, joined this Team Israel squad a few days ago. I believe the last game he played in the Indians organization, he had a big fly.
Yeah. Columbus Clippers.
Out there in the Midwest. Now back east in preparation for the 2020 Tokyo Games coming up next week. Here's the 0-1 from Bedford. Breaker misses way outside in the dirt. Near eye able to block it with Ty Kelly off of third base. Valencia off first. Maybe trying to do a little bit more recruitment of Kemp Alderman. As he said, took notice of mighty righty's swing during Big Train batting practice. Here's the 1-1 in there for a called strike. And it's 1-2.
And you're going to see some arguments from the catcher in the dish there, Ryan Lavarnway. Didn't think that was inside, and as a catcher, you know the zone a little bit better than some hitters would as you're with that umpire behind the plate for 7 innings tonight. So didn't take offense to it, but just didn't like that call there.
Olympic umpiring squad, of course, as this is an Olympic exhibition. So the normal umpiring crews you'd see for the Big Train, not in action here tonight.
Thankfully for Israel.
Takes some getting used to.
Yeah.
But the Big Train managed to do it. Israel looking to settle in here. 2-2 to Lavarnway coming. He scorches this one. Chance for 2 to Torres. Can't hang on to it. Flips it over to Thomas in time to get 1. Kelly comes home from third on the bobble. And that will be the 3rd run of the game now for Team Israel as they open up a 3-1 lead. Valencia caught out at second on the fielder's choice. Lavarnway reaches first with the RBI.
Lavarnway getting on base in some crazy ways here. You know, 2 outs, you got that runner cut at the plate. But catcher's interference and then fielder's choice for Ryan Lavarnway.
Funky indeed, but he'll take it, I'm sure. Bedford now with 2 outs here, a 3-1 deficit for the Big Train. That one misses a little bit outside. 1-0 to Nick Rickles. Power hitting catcher normally in the corner outfield tonight in right. Good curveball there from Bedford. Works back on the inside part of the plate, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Bedford's been very solid this season for the Big Train. Pitched 5 no-hit innings against the DC Grays.
This one hit high in the air, right side. Gump working over towards the line, settles under it. And under it to collect it for out number 3. So Israel puts up 3 here in the top of the 3rd to take the lead. Big Train with runners on base to start. Do the international rules will look to answer when we come back here in the bottom of the 3rd on Big Train TV.
From the vendor JCC in Greater Washington, we have CEO Josh Bender. From Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Washington, we have President Dr. Ronald Paul and Executive Director Ron Halber. And we also have here tonight staff and supporters of the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington. And special appreciation to Alan Sherman of the International Jewish Sports Federation, who has worked tirelessly for more than 18 months to make this game a success. Let's thank them all. Well done, everybody.
Fans, don't watch the game on an empty stomach. Atman's Potomac Deli is in the Povich Field Home Run Cafe tonight with Hebrew National Frankfurters, an assortment of knishes, pickles, pretzels, and Cracker Jack, as well as Dr. Brown soda and freshly squeezed lemonade. Schmaltz Brothers is just outside the side entrance with its certified kosher food truck menu, including Buddy's brisket and matzah hush puppies. And the Ben & Jerry's ice cream truck is also just outside the entrance. But remember, if you leave the ballpark to visit Schmaltz Brothers or Ben & Jerry's, please take your ticket with you to facilitate your return.
Keith Torres for the first time to the bat here as the bottom of the order, 9-1-2. Torres, Johnson, Foster due up for the big train. Looking to answer. Brady Gump will stand on the second base. Danny Neary off of first. Again, 2 runners to start per international rules. Loengart will issue the signals from behind home plate. Actually, Neary off first, Neary off second, Gump off first. Third time's a charm. As DJ Shirabi back to work for his second inning of work, 1/3 complete so far. After coming in relief of Lipitz, 2/3 of the way through the second. Able to retire Gump. It's the only batter he faced. Torres shows bunt, lays it down, able to get the 2 runners over, and is put out on a 1-3. Good play there off the mound from Shirabi defensively. And the big train work a little small ball to get 2 in scoring position here for the top of the order in Riley Johnson.
Johnson with a nice piece of hitting his first time up, just blooped it into center field to lead things off, and rolling up to Cheeseburger in Paradise as chosen by our intern staff, mostly me.
Excellent selection, if I do say so myself.
Jimmy Buffett, never can go wrong.
Johnson recorded the sole base knock of the game, sole non-big fly base knock of the game so far for the big train. Of course, the Grant Nip home run, the only run of the day so far for the big train. A chance to change that here. 2 in scoring position with the international rules, second and third. Gump and Neary respectively. Johnson settles in from the left-handed side, takes that one for a called strike from Shirabi. It's 0-1.
Shirabi zipping it up there to the plate. Very nice action on his fastball, pumping things in there. Is that a ball? I have no clue why Riley Johnson's going to first base.
Did it hit him?
Could have.
That's the only reason I would think that he would get on first, but the 2 others wouldn't advance.
Catcher's interference.
Oh, no, intentional walk maybe.
Oh. To face Darius Foster. Well, here's the reasoning, I think, behind the intentional walk.
Yeah, I think it's an intentional walk.
So with the intentional walk, they know that Darius Foster puts the ball on the ground. So they're trying to hope for a ground ball here, maybe a hard hit ground ball.
Scouting report doing much for Israel so far. We saw the lefty shift. Now we see an intentional walk of the leadoff hitter Riley Johnson to put the force play on at home. And Foster lofts this in the air, left side. Kelly heading over towards the big train pen. Nice catch by somebody down there. Or no, I guess that's the standing room only crowd. Used to just seeing the big train bullpen down there.
Yeah.
But a few more folks in attendance here tonight at Povich Field. A boisterous crowd on this perfect Sunday evening for baseball. Past the 10 o'clock hour. Going to be a late night here, but we're going to enjoy all 7 innings of this exhibition game. Shirabi set. Hands to the belt. Here comes the 0-1 to Foster with the bases loaded inside for ball 1.
It's just smart orchestration there on the defense by this team. Getting the scouting reports correct and trying to see if it'll work out here with Darius Foster, who has a propensity to put balls on the ground. We've seen that this season, but he also can beat them out.
Team Israel looking to set up a double play with the force at any base. Infield slightly in. Kelly and Valencia on the grass cutouts. Middle infielders Burcham and Kinsler still playing on the dirt, but working a little bit towards the grass. So we see some action down there in the right field Team Israel bullpen. 2-1 to Foster at the plate.
It's Eric Brodkowitz up in the bullpen.
Shirabi sets. Here's the 2-1 outside. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Hitters count on Foster at San Francisco University. Second year with the big train after bringing that speedy skill on the base paths here in 2019. They'll look to get the big train back into this game, trailing 3-1. Shirabi set to the belt. Here's the 3-1. Foster laces this one to left field. Glasser working over to his right, collects it, under it, and tagging from third is Danny Mirai. He will score. It's 3-2. Team Israel still with the lead. Gump stays at second. Johnson stays at first. And there's 2 gone now for Matt Thomas.
Good sacrifice fly there for Darius Foster. Of course, all these runs that start on the base pass are unearned. But Foster putting it in play, making this game a little bit closer.
Yeah, you know, I hadn't even thought to think of that, but that's a good point. Extra inning rules being tested out. Just trying to get Team Israel used to as much as they can, of course. That's the whole point of this 9-game exhibition swing through the eastern portion of the United States. Played some games up in Hartford, a couple at Maimonides Field, home of Yeshiva University in Brooklyn. They'll face off. They'll head back there after the matchup with the other CRCBL All-Stars tomorrow night in Aberdeen. We, of course, will be there, as you've seen. Here's the 0-1 to Thomas, hit high in the air, out of play, foul right side. They'll head back up. They took on the FDNY, New York's bravest, in one of their first exhibition games, and they'll close things out in this 9-game swing with the NYPD. So
that's a nice bookend.
Taking on all the public servants.
Nice bookend there.
As we said, took on the other half of the All-Star team in Harrisburg the other morning as Thomas swings and misses at that one and is set down on strikes for the 3rd out. Big Train get one more on the runners on base rule. They trail 3-2 as we head to the top of the 4th here on Big Train TV after this word from our good friends at the Dandy Walker Alliance.
1 in 10,000 children are born with a brain malformation known as Dandy Walker syndrome. Dandy Walker can cause enlargement of the skull, lack of muscle control, and other developmental challenges. More research is needed, but we do know that early therapy helps many live healthier, fuller lives. 1 in 10,000 may not seem like a lot unless your child is the one. Learn more, find help, and help others. Visit dandy-walker.org.
Both have kept me employed and interested for more than 50 years, and I hope for another 50. Sean, this is the kind of game that celebrates the real Washington.
I couldn't say it better myself. And Bob, we're going to be taking over my duty for this top of the 4th inning. There's nobody that I trust more with this mic here in this ball game. So take it away, Bob.
Okay. Now pitching for the Bethesda Big Train, number 39, Josh Gross. Now batting number 8, the shortstop, Scott Burcham.
So Scott Burcham to lead things off here for Team Israel in the top of the 4th against the new pitcher for Big Train. It's Josh Gross out of the University of East Carolina, and we're joined by another pitcher not in the game right now. John DeMarte, righty for Team Israel up here in the Dandy Walker Alliance broadcast booth as Gross pours in 2 consecutive balls to Burcham to start. Jonathan, thanks for joining us up here. Appreciate the time.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Of course, we know you've been one of Team Israel's more reliable pitchers, plenty of experience on the bump. That's 2-1 now from Gross.
Yeah, I grew up in northern Westchester County, New York. Went to University of Richmond, played throughout undergrad and grad school. Was a pitcher my first few years, had a bunch of injuries, and then kind of transitioned to infielder and then back to the mound in my last year of graduate school. Played independent ball for a few years after that, did all the stuff with Israel, made Aliyah, got my citizenship, played some ball in Australia, and then I signed with the Cubs right before COVID hit.
Mazel tov on that, by the way, as Gross works it all the way back to a full count, but finally issues another walk to Israel batting as Bertram reaches as the leadoff hitter. No runners on base to start off this inning, but you talked about the process to make Aliyah and join Team Israel. What went into that decision for you? You know, what was the recruitment process like from the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone was a little bit different. Randomly, I saw my name one day on like Jewish baseball news while I was playing independent ball. 2018, I was playing independent ball in the Frontier League, and manager asked me if I was interested in playing winter ball, and I said I want to play for Team Israel because I remember in 2017 watching them in the Classic, and I said I was interested in playing with Team Israel. He was friends with Gabe Kapler at the time and said he would see what he could do because Gabe Kapler was involved with Team Israel. Also, Nate Mulberg, our first base coach, was at University of Richmond. I think he had told our manager, Eric Holtz, about me. And, you know, the next day I got a call from Holtz and saying that he knew who I was and had no idea I was Jewish because of my last name.
Yeah, DeMarte doesn't exactly ring off the page.
Yes, so it was pretty straightforward for me. I was born and raised Jewish. I'm also Italian, and yeah, born and raised Jewish. So as soon as I got that call, I started the Aliyah process immediately, and I was a part of that first group in 2018 that went over to Israel and finalized everything, or finalized the citizenship process. So I've been involved in this for a few years now, and this is, you know, our ultimate goal was to make it to the Olympics, and this has been a long time coming. So we're so excited for, you know, everything to finally happen.
2 on, nobody out here after Pollard wears that one off the small of his back, off the arm of Josh Gross, so a little bit of trouble to work out of. Of course, you mentioned, you know, we talked to, you know, a couple of the other guys, some of the leadoff top of the order hitters tonight for Team Israel, but just how special it was to kind of feel this sort of, you know, reconnection with the locker room, feel the connection between the whole team and the whole squad. What's that been like for you? Obviously, you were more in touch with the long bus rides that you guys have experienced, you know, throughout this exhibition swing. But what's it been like just getting to know these guys and trying to build some chemistry up before heading to Tokyo?
It's been incredible. I mean, a lot of us have stayed in touch since the qualifiers. I mean, this, like I said, this has been a long time coming. So we're very close. Close-knit group of guys, and just for me, I got injured before spring training this year, so I haven't played in a game since Australia, and it's pretty neat to be back in the baseball swing of things, just riding the bus, long days. I miss it, but it's really great getting used to again, and just, you know, we haven't seen each other in so long, so, you know, every day being one step closer.
This one torched through the glove of Sean Ewell. That's going to score at least one, or they're going to hold at third base.
Yep.
Bertram to third, Pollard to second. Lowengardt with a hard hit ball. And that will load the bases here with no outs. And so the offense is threatening as a pitcher. You know, what's your approach here in the situation? The base is loaded, nobody out.
You just do whatever you can to minimize. I mean, when the ball's put in play here, obviously there's a chance at a run being scored. So, you know, I hope, you know, hope in our favor right now we can do some more damage. But if I'm on the mound right now, I mean, I'm trying to do as much as I can to limit any action and, you know, punch each batter out.
Did you ever play collegiate summer ball in your time?
I had a rough college career in terms of injuries. So I was supposed to play in the Coastal Plains League 3 times, NECBL once, never got to go to any of them. And I was just looking on the roster before, and I saw someone here played in the Sunset Collegiate League. It said they were the MVP whenever they played there.
I think that was Thomas.
Okay.
He's played 3 seasons before this year here, And then last year, obviously, with no play, I think you just wanted to get that itch scratched.
Okay, so I played in the Sunset Collegiate League between my 5th and 6th year as an infielder, and actually threw a few innings, and that's when I started to come back to pitching again. So that was my only experience, and it was incredible. Like, I had never been out to California before, got to live the whole summer out there. I mean, we explored, my roommates and I, every single off day, went to every beach possible, and I loved playing there. Like, I had such a good time.
That's got to be up there in some of the best spots to go, California.
It is, yeah. And baseball out there is so much different. There's so many schools that I've never heard of. Obviously, the junior college world is just crazy there in terms of talent and the number of guys that they have playing competitively at all different levels. I got to meet so many new people, and actually, it's funny now. Like Alon Leishman, Asaf Loengart, some of the schools that they played at. Going to college after being in the IDF, I played with guys from those schools years and years ago. So it's crazy how the baseball world really comes full circle.
So just to double check back on the game, Glosser with the sacrifice fly ball to Foster out and left to score Burcham from third. Poller and Loengart still at second and first regardless. One out here for Ben Wanger, the extra hitter. Of course, part of this experience to get ready for the ultimate goal at the end of things, the Tokyo Olympics. As that one's fouled back, it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wanger. First of all, just how excited are you to get the chance to participate in the Olympics? I mean, it's just one of the ultimate competition goals as an athlete in any sport. Obviously, I mean, do you remember when they took baseball out of the Olympics and now it's being brought back? What's that feeling like to be able to be part of this competition at that level again?
I definitely don't remember. All I remember is when the Summer Olympics would happen, I could never find baseball on TV. And so then, it was removed, and the World Baseball Classic has brought so much attention. I think that there's going to be a lot of attention brought back to baseball in the Olympics this year, since it's the first time in so long. And you have USA, you have our team in the Olympics. You have a lot of notable names that are playing in it, so I think there's going to be a lot more eyes on it. And I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, this is, like I said, again, this is such a long time coming. And for those of us that were, I mean, I can't speak for the guys who have been playing for Israel baseball since a really young age, but I've been involved in this since 2018, and this was our ultimate goal, knowing that we had a lot of tournaments to win to get here. It's incredible this is finally here and that we are making it to that point. So I am so excited. I mean, words can't really put into words what it feels like, but I think once we get into Japan and you start to see more like Olympic signage, and you see the rings everywhere, and I think because the Olympics is just the bringing together of so many athletes, I think that's really what's going to do it, is when you see not just baseball players, you see people from all different sports.
Wanger takes a breaking pitch on the 3-2, works the walk to load the bases again here with 1 out. And here I will have to block the first pitch to Ian Kinsler, who, despite a couple $1 million in the bank and a World Series ring on his hand, we've heard he's a pretty down-to-earth guy. What's he been like as a teammate?
He's incredible. So welcoming to everybody. I mean, he's done whatever he can to get to know every single player. I mean, all these guys make you feel so welcome, no matter who they are. I've never seen someone sign so many autographs for people, and that's a tough thing to do when we're so busy every single day, being pulled in all different directions. He's been such a great guy to be around, and someone that's just pretty amazing to be able to share the field with. I mean, I remember growing up watching him play for so many years in the big leagues. So for me, it's pretty amazing feeling to share the field with guys like this.
I mean, who's the one teammate you've gotten to know that's really surprised you just by the way they are, really?
You put Ian in that category, I guess. You never know what someone's personality is going to be like playing with someone like this. And I mean, he, like I said, is so welcoming and has gone out of his way to really get to know every single player. I mean, no one is really treated differently on this team, where it's a pretty tight-knit group of guys. So it's an amazing group to be around.
3-1 from Gross to Kinsler. Fires this one off foul. 3-2 now.
I think we're all really excited for the last few guys to get together who aren't here right now. And again, like I said, everybody knows each other. We've all kept in touch over the last few years. So once we're all the full final group is together, I think that's going to be a pretty incredible feeling when we all have the chance to share the field together in Tokyo.
Here's the 3-2 to Kinsler. That one catches the outside of the plate, and Kinsler set down on strikes. Not happy about that call, but he'll have to take it in stride. Back to the dugout. 2 gone here for Ty Kelly.
Ty Kelly, the third baseman.
Not often you get to strike out a World Series champion as a rising sophomore at East Carolina, but Josh Gross did just that to work to 2 outs here with the bases loaded against another former major leaguer, Ty Kelly. Now, of course, you mentioned you played baseball down in Australia. We know you played up in Canada as well. It's one of those true international games. What do you think makes the sport of baseball so special for Israel? And, what's been your experience like in getting to participate in the efforts to grow the game in that country? As this one scorched to Torres, he'll take it himself to the second base bag. I should believe that's Christian Martin in at shortstop as a defensive substitution. We'll get that answer from you and then take a quick break here on Big Train TV.
Yeah, for me, it's being a part of this group has been incredible. We have the chance to unite, I think, Israelis and Jewish people all over the world. There's a following in some way, I feel like, everywhere that we've gone, which is just people, again, like I said, people spread out all over the world that you get a chance to represent them on an international basis. And what's neat to me is that it's a growing game in Israel. So having the chance to, spread the word that there is baseball in Israel and do everything that we can to raise money and raise awareness about the game and how it is growing there. I think the more that we can do that, the more it's going to help it grow, and the more you're going to hear about players like Asaf, Alon, Shlomo, who's been, of course, playing forever. Tal, and guys like that. I think you're just going to continue to hear and see more guys like that. Both of my trips to Israel, we did a lot of camp work, clinic work, and just working with younger guys, and that's been something that's so cool to be a part of. These kids are so excited every single time that we come out, and they just kind of stand there and stare at you in amazement because they take in every single word that you say, and they're so excited to just learn from us and be there and kind of share the field with us. So I think the more that, as we continue to have success as a group, you're going to see the game grow more there. You're going to see more youth players, and that's what's going to help grow baseball in Israel.
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing how that comes. Look forward to following you along in the Olympics. We'll be back in just a moment for the bottom of the 4th here on Big Train TV.
The first baseman from Ole Miss, number 33, Kent Alderman.
Bottom of the 4th here on Big Train TV. It's a 4-2 Israel lead. And for the rest of the night, here's Tyler Gallo on play-by-play.
Thank you so much. Ben is taking over in the dish right now as Camp Alderman walking up to Baby Shark as he stands in and takes strike one from DJ Shirabi, who is in his 3rd inning of work here tonight. Worked pretty well thus far. Held the Big Train to just 1 run after that long home run from Grant Knipp. As Eric Brodkowitz takes over on the mound for his 1st inning of work tonight. And once again, thank you so much to Jonathan DeMarte for coming up to the booth. Really just great guy, great answers he gave us, and really thankful that we could have him in here, a member of Team Israel. But Kemp Alderman right now 0-2 here against Brodkowitz. Here's the pitch. Low ball 1-2. Alderman just, again, a lot of gawking over him in batting practice. Really just something else.
Absolutely. And I think the thing about DeMarte that makes him so special is it's the guys like Kinsler, Kelly, Danny Valencia.
Alderman sends one about to the moon, but foul, way out of play, and it's still 1-2.
It's the bigger former major leaguers that get all the headlines for Team Israel, but it's guys like Jonathan DeMarte that really fill out the roster, that really make this team so competitive to the point they have. Talking about a journeyman guy who lays down everything to go make Aliyah and to go be part of this special happening for Team Israel and for baseball in general.
Absolutely, as it's taken outside for a ball 2-2 here from Eric Brodkowitz. It's been one heck of a games thus far. 4-2 the score here in the bottom of the fourth. Alderman ropes one down the right field line. That's going to go foul and towards the Israel bullpen. And so, yeah, Alderman up, due up for the big train. Alderman, Nip, and Shanuel. Nip, of course, homered his first time up. What a shot that was off the bat of Nip, by the way.
Absolutely. Very hard hit. A lot of damage done there off the bat of Nip. Big Train would like some more.
Alderman goes down waving at a swing and a miss, strike 3, and he is retired for out number 1. Good first out there for Brodkowitz, and that'll bring up Grant Nip. Really just fooled on that strike 3.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of the pop that he has in that bat. Went very foul with 2 balls to either side. I haven't seen a lot of that oppo power from Kemp on the year. And isn't going to get a chance in that at bat, as he'll have to turn it over to, as you said, a guy who opened the game up with a big fly back in the second.
And I was going to speak on this, but how about Josh Gross striking out Ian Kinsler? He's probably going to take that and tell everyone about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we're hearing that from Josh in about 30 years.
So it's outside, ball 1. 1-1 here to Grant Nip, the freshly minted Camel.
And didn't get the chance to ask DeMarte when he was up here. Got into some deeper stuff, rather. But I feel like that's going to be one when you tell the grandkids that Kinsler totally whiffed.
As Nip smacks another one deep down the left field line. That ball is gone. Goodbye. Or no, off the top of the wall again. I keep getting fooled by these. As Grant Nip settles in at second. That ball looked like it was just about over the fence. And have a day, Grant Nip. Man, is he hitting the ball well tonight.
Yeah, absolutely turned on that one again. Just not quite as high in the air with the line drawn as the first one. And again, getting fooled by the clear
It's my first
chain
inning.
link
I'll
fence.
get used to it as Shanuel stands up here. It's double home run for Grant Nip, and that's definitely a ticket you want to write here against Israel. But Brodkowitz got a quick out against Alderman, and then Grant Nip looking like Ian Kinsler out there at the dish. Stroking one down the left field line. I've gotten fooled by several other things this year. We all have.
Happens
more than I'd like to admit, but
happens to the best of us.
Shanuel takes one up high and outside, ball 1. I was ready to jump out of my seat for that one because it would have been a 4-3 ball game, but Nip just at second now. Shanuel up the plate, the freshman All-American from the good old university, Florida Atlantic University. They were shifted on him in his first at-bat as he takes a nice pitch there from Brodkowitz for strike 1.
And as you said, Grant Nip just seeing the ball exceptionally well tonight. Guys having to adjust a little bit as we're headed towards the 11 o'clock hour. Not quite the same backdrop they're used to with the sun shining in from right center field.
It's just been a beautiful night at the ballpark for here at Povich Field. And we talked to a bunch of these major leaguers, and, man, they like the ballpark, which you love to hear from guys that are used to seeing, Kurz Field and PNC Park and Camden Yards, and they come here to Povich. They're like, it really feels like a great ballpark, and it's like a nice college park where you would play in college summer league. And a lot of these guys have played in the college summer league, so it's really cool to hear that from them.
Yeah, Brodkowitz checking back on Gump off of second there.
So it's another 1-1 count here to Shanuel. Here's the pitch from Brodkowitz. Hit high in the air, a foul, headed to a sea of Bethesdans, I guess you want to call it. That's strike 2 here to Shanuel.
Shift back on against or not on against Shanuel this time.
Well, with a runner on second, there's no reason to shift, especially because he could take third base. I mean, he could take third base if he really wanted to, no one covering it. But I don't think Nip's going to be doing that right now. I think Nip just wants to take it all in here. Shanuel smokes one way in the air to center field. Loewengart has it, though. Under it, makes the catch for out number 2. So Shanuel is retired, and that'll bring up Danny Neary, the catcher. Neary tonight spent a couple of innings behind the plate. Of course, we see Brady Gump on deck. I believe that's Brady Gump, unless we got a pinch hitter. Yep, that is Brady Gump. So, Danny Neary earlier just grounded out to short. That's his only at-bat in this one thus far. As we're only here.
Did score as the runner on base, though.
Yeah, absolutely. As he
got a little workout in there. A little base running work. Fundamentals of the game and such.
Get your steps in, Danny. First pitch to him. Taken right down the middle for strike 1, 0-1. 4-2 the score. 4 hits for Israel, 3 for the Big Train. Very good game of baseball thus far. That 3-run inning all, coming off of those extra runners. Here's the 0-1 now to Neary. Fouls it off and into the back screen and out of play. Strike 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Both teams playing really well, obviously. A spot where they both have things to achieve, right? Israel is just trying to keep the wheels moving along, get things nice and juiced up for the Olympics next week, and the Big Train is gearing up for a playoff push starting, the end of this week. So they're just looking to keep the momentum going and compete against some really good competition.
Rips one and right into the mitt of the short-handed Ian Kinsler at second base. So that's out number 3 for this inning. Big Train get a double, but nothing else as they head to the bottom half, or the top half of the 5th inning here on Big Train TV.
Folks, we've got a very special guest here tonight. Baseball Club has voted to name the press box at Shirley Povich Field the George Solomon Press Box after decades of service at the Washington Post, working with the great Shirley Povich. I cannot think of anybody better to name this press box after keeping the legacy of Shirley Povich alive at the University of Maryland. So, George, I got a question for you. You got a standing room only crowd. You've got your wonderful wife Hazel in the house. What would your friend Shirley Povich say about the scene here tonight? We're going to have an incredibly elegant, unbelievably expensive put on the press box. That would be the George Solomon press box. But on the door, we have this little name tag, and we made an extra one for you. Hazel will make sure it doesn't go to your head. Thank you very much. All right, let's hear it for George Solomon.
Now pitching for the Bethesda Big Train, coming fresh off of his 19th birthday yesterday. Number 24 from Georgetown, Everett Catlett.
Back here on Big Train TV and leading off the former Mariner, former Oriole, former Seattle, yeah, I already said that, former Toronto Blue Jay Danny Valencia stands up to the plate. What a personality he is. His last time up, smoked a base hit into left field. He's walked as well. He's reached base both times tonight, facing off against the long lefty and birthday boy Everett Catlett. And first pitch he sees greets him rudely right up the middle with a base hit.
I'm starting to see a trend in Danny Valencia's approach at the plate. Swing at the first pitch and see what happens. So far, working out pretty well for him.
So we do have a new catcher behind the plate, and it's the debut of Colin Tuft, Virginia commit. First time we've seen him all season long.
Yeah, heck of a spot to make his debut as well.
Oh, absolutely. Defensive replacement for Nerai, who did bat last inning. As he takes over behind the plate and calling the balls and strikes for Everett Catlett, who is facing another former major leaguer, current major leaguer with the Indians, Ryan Lavarnway. Lavarnway was remarking on the sun. We know, Ryan. We know. We've dealt with that. First pitch from Catlett gets away. Valencia down to second. Tuft really no chance to get him out. Fresh into the game. That always finds you. Always finds you.
Finds a way, doesn't it?
So Tuft behind the plate, greeted rudely as well. And up towards the dish again, Ryan Lavarnway, veteran of several Major League ball clubs. Inside strike called, 1-1. So Lavarnway tonight has had a pretty interesting line to his credit. Catcher's interference reaching and a 6-4 fielder's choice that drove in a run. Catlett's 1-1 to him. Low. Skips in the dirt. 2-1.
Yeah, as we mentioned, Catlett celebrated his 19th birthday yesterday. All 6 feet 7 of him. Feel like it's not exactly an Everett Catlett appearance if we don't find a way to bring that up.
Right. He was in the booth with us recently. Well, with you, Ben. It's inside.
Find all that and more on the BigTrain.tv YouTube page.
Of course.
Replays of this game, highlights, and more.
So Catlett, 3-1 count here to Lavarnway, who got to this, I believe, both times he's been up. Smacks one to third. There's the play for Sean Uell. He looks back Valencia to second and gets the shore out at first. 4 out, number 1.
Yeah, smooth play there by Sean Uell, who's had a busy night on the hot corner, but able to deal with that scorcher pretty easily. And fire over for out number 1.
So a couple of flyouts to his credit tonight. Nick Rickles stands up at the plate here, wearing number 9 for Israel. Rickles tonight, it's 2 sharp fly balls, both of them into the midst of Big Train outfielders. Rickles has been hitting the ball pretty well for this team over these couple of games. Catlett looks back at Valencia, fires the pitch. First pitch inside, strike. And it's 0-1. Very loud night here at Povich Field, which is good to hear. Sold out crowd of in excess of 800 people. 0-1 now to Nick Rickles. Here's the pitch. Skips away, and Valencia is going to trot on easily down to third. And he can keep on going. As Tuft is having a heck of a defensive inning here in the first couple of batters. Couple of pass balls. Not to his credit, but sometimes it greets you.
Yeah, just got to settle in, do your best to keep things in front of you. You know, Catlett's arm angle, not always the easiest thing to deal with, of course.
Catlett, long lefty. Infield comes in a little bit. Martin at short. The new shortstop up the middle, right through the wickets of Everett Catlett, and that's going to be an RBI single for Nick Rickles. So the Israel extends their lead to 5-2. Big Train over the Big Train, and, you know, good piece of hitting. Right back where it was pitched.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit that hard. Straight back at him, and no chance for anyone defensively up the middle. And Rickles will check in with his first base knock of the night and an RBI at that.
Rockies farmhand Scott Burcham up to the plate now. Spent a couple of the former years in the Rockies organization. Home of the All-Star game this year. First pitch from Catlett, outside ball 1. Here in the 5th inning, Big Train trail 5-2, to Israel. In an exhibition game, friendly exhibition game. Tomorrow night is the real test, though. Real test, not really. The All-Stars for both teams or all the teams that they play in Montgomery County, I believe, besides the Giants, that's hit high and foul down the right field line. Hoping for the play is the right fielder Gump, and he will watch that go into the bullpen. It's going to be the Silver Spring Tacoma T-Bolts and I believe the DC Grays, if I'm not mistaken, on that roster. As they look to
Alexandria, I think.
Alexandria. They look to take on these guys tomorrow night at the Aberdeen Ripken Complex. Very nice complex, driven by it hundreds of times.
Lidos Field at Ripken Stadium. Beautiful minor league ballpark, home to the Ironbirds.
Aberdeen, go Aberdeen. So
Looking forward to that one tonight, and looking forward to the rest of this game. Like you said, been a pretty good game so far. 5-2 Israel. Big Train just staying competitive and doing their best out there, keeping warm.
Here's the pitch to Bertram. Bloops it in the air, shallow left. That's going to fall in front of no longer Foster in left field, and for a base hit for Bertram. So back-to-back singles, 3 in this inning. And it looks like Brady is now in left. Center field, I believe that's still Riley Johnson, and in right.
Looks like Trevor Doyle, maybe.
Yeah, Trevor Doyle in right field. Told me he was trying to put on a show for these guys in batting practice. So Gump moves to left, and Doyle into right, in for Darius Foster. And up is Rob Pollard.
Yeah, just to confirm, Christian Martin at shortstop.
Good pitch there from Catlett.
Alderman still at first. Thomas still at second, and Sean Ewell still at third.
Big Train using all of their bench except for Dylan Hatfield and the injured Rocco Pepe. All their left-handers off the bench. First pitch to 0-1 to Pollard outside. Ball 1-1. Pollard grounded out, or walked, excuse me, and reached base last time. I didn't get to score that inning because we were joined by Jonathan DeMarte, but 5-2 the score again here at Povich Field. 1-1 here from Catlett. Dancing off second is Bertram. The pitch inside, ball 2. Like I said, I've driven by that complex several times on my way to see family in South Carolina. Whenever I'm going down to this area, I'll see it. On my way back home from this internship, I will see it as well. Very nice field and always looms over the highway. 2-1. Outside again, and the count goes to 3-1.
Just north of, a little bit more than just north of here, Havre de Grace, Maryland.
Havre de Grace, as my father would call it.
Okay.
I don't know why. 3-1 now from Catlett to Pollard. Pollard with that low crouch stance. Here's the pitch. Ball 4, and he walks to load the bases. The bases are now loaded for Asaf Lowengart, the center fielder, who's reached base both of his times up, and that's 3 times on base for Rob Pollard.
Yeah, Lowengart with that hard hit ball to left center field. His last at bat. Looking for another one of those here to possibly score at least 1, maybe 2. Showing off a little bit of power, the lengthy center fielder. Asaf Lowengart. 6'1", 190.
Inside corner of the plate, strike 1 called on Lowengart. Lowengart has had to move a little bit in the outfield as well tonight. Standing on deck, Mitchell Glasser. Does have a ribeye steak to his plate tonight. Here's the 0-1, again inside and called strike 2 from Catlett, who's just pumping that inside portion of the plate. We'll see if he chases outside here, try to get Lowengart to chase. But with a good hitter like this, always going to be trouble. So, Catlett, the long lean in, 0-2. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Bounced foul up the third base side, fielded by the third base coach.
Yeah, as our new friend Jonathan DeMarte said, Lowengart, really a spectacular baseball career. Not necessarily in his successes, but just in the journey he's had. Of course, from Moshav Timorim in Israel, one of the true Israeli natives here. Didn't have to make Aliyah.
0-2, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Catlett will take that strikeout to the bank, and that is 2 outs.
All the way through the IDF to Mansfield University, here to Povich Field.
One strange trip. So here's Mitchell Glasser, number 22, left fielder. Glasser struck out and had a sacrifice fly, his 2 times up. 7 hits to their name tonight, 10 total on the night, just 3 for the Big Train as they've picked up runs in back-to-back innings and then went silence last inning. Catlett looking to get out of this unscathed. Bases loaded and 2 out. First pitch to Glasser. Zips up high, ball 1. Again, Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here with you on Big Train TV. We're so happy to bring you this game. Bethesda Big Train and Team Israel friendship game here at Povich Field, just near the 11 o'clock hour. A later night than usual, but I think we'll be fine with this late night as opposed to other ones. 1-0. Again, outside, Tuft. Good job of sliding out a little bit to maybe impede the runners from coming home. And it's 2-0. Tuft, the Virginia commit.
Yeah, described to us as a utility guy. Just looking to get his feet wet before heading off to the wide world of college baseball next fall.
Cablett's
First
2-0.
taste of experience here with the Big Train.
Called, strike one.
Nice pitch there on the outside part to Glasser.
Maybe trying to get him to chase again, but still caught the zone. 3 runs really loom large. Those 3 runs in the third inning for Israel really loom large in this game as the ones that lead it. 5-2, fouled off by Glasser. And it's 2-2. 2 strikes again here from Everett Catlett. Catlett in for his 1 inning of work. And I believe they'll turn it over to Jack Cohn. So the claps begin here at Povich Field. You can hear them on the broadcast. 2-2 from Catlett with the bases loaded. Looking to get out of this inning with no runs across. He sets and delivers the pitch. Ripped foul down the right field side and out of play.
Yeah, heads up near the batting cages. Hard hit baseball there.
Capacity crowd here at Povich Field and more, and then some. There's people beyond the right field fence watching this game. You'd expected to see a couple of people beyond the fence. Not too much. Catlett's 2-2. Swing and a miss in the dirt, strike 3. And Everett Catlett does a Houdini act. He gets out of a bases loaded 1-out jam. Big Train coming back up when we come back here on Big Train TV.
Fans, as this is a 7-inning game, it's time to stretch. Bob Levy has a special guest.
Yes, I do. Congregation Har Shalom's Hazan Enrique Ozerbass is here to lead us in a rousing 5th inning stretch Yiddish version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. The mic is yours.
All right, everybody. Baruch Hu is on page 36. Nimm mich mit zu der Ballgame, zum Eulen lass mir doch gehen. Kauf mir den Nislech und Cracker Jack, will ich keinmal von dort nicht weg, gibt's ein Mut, die Ballspieler, es passt nicht, als man verspielt, weil es ist 1, 2, 3 Strikes und uns bei der Baseballspiel.
Wow! Excellent. Thank you so much.
Back here on Big Train TV after a wonderful Yiddish version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the 5th inning, and coming up to the outfield once again is the outfielder Brady Gump to lead things off.
Yeah, don't know if I ever expected to hear that in my life, but I am better off for it, and that's for sure.
You see something new at every baseball game, Ben, and this is definitely a different one to take in. Really the sights and sounds tonight. Starstruck by a lot of the major leaguers, former guys that I watched play, but really down to earth once you get to know them. Brodkowitz on for another inning. First pitch to Gump is taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Big Train down 3 here as they only have 3 hits total in tonight's ball game. A lot of fans, man. A lot of fans here tonight. Love to see that.
Don't need to ask the attendance tonight, you know.
We sort of know it as it's outside ball 1.
Have to think that if you were able to get a ticket to this game, you showed up. Of course, they sold out in just 5 minutes online. Standing room took, a day or so to sell out after that.
Gump bounces one to third. Kelly's got it. Short-handed, fires to first. Long throw, skips by the first baseman Valencia, and Gump will get down to second base. So, and he's going to take a big turn and stop there. So Ty Kelly, maybe short arm to throw a little bit there to first base. Valencia really had no chance to get to that ball. And it's an E5. He's up to the plate comes Christian Martin.
Yeah, tough play all around there. One hop, really low scoop for Valencia. Got a good motion on it, but just couldn't quite get that ball into his mid. And the foul territory here at Povich Field, as you'll learn quickly, can be very dangerous.
So Torres out of the game. Christian Martin, Virginia Tech commit, coming up to the plate. Facing off against Eric Brodkowitz, who's on his third inning, I believe now. Second or third. Came in relief for DJ Shirabi. And a wheel pickoff attempt at second base. Gump not going anywhere. We'll do it one more time. 5-2, once again, the score. Big Train with a runner on second. And nobody out. First pitch from Brodkowitz. Martin takes strike one called. And it's 0-1. The 0-1 here from Christian Martin. Martin, really impressive in his brief time here on the squad. He's taking outside ball one. Really reputation as a spark plug at the bottom of the order.
Yeah, defensive stalwart as well. Up the middle, we're going to get to see a little bit more of him at shortstop now. We saw a lot of him at second base and just doing yeoman's work, as a wise man once said.
Tyler Gallo's one of, I want to say, top 10 quotes. Top 10 most used quotes. Yeah. Besides freshly minted Campbell Camel. Or the
That's just a fun phrase to say.
Slim Slinger from the Sin City. 2-1 here to Christian Martin. Here's the pitch. Martin lofts one fouling out of play. 2-2. Big Train trying to come back in this game, but they won't be mad if they don't. Exhibition here. Likely see Jack Cohn for the next one, and we'll get a new baseball on the mound. Tomorrow night in Aberdeen. Pretty excited for that one. I'll start that one off, and Ben will bring you home for the back half of that 9-inning game. With the All-Stars from the, I don't really know what to call that portion of the CRCBL, but the three teams we mentioned earlier. Bethesda, Alexandria, and Silver Spring.
CRCBL All-Stars.
CRCBL All-Stars. Let's go with that. 2-2 to Martin. Rips one up the middle for a base hit, and that'll get Gump to third. Being waved home as that gets into the gap and splits it off. Lowengart's throw in. So offline, it's an RBI double for Christian Martin. So Martin is just right into the game and replenishes himself with a nobody out, runner on second, base hit, and it's 5-3.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there, just past the outstretched glove of Ian Kinsler. And, you know, you talked about Kemp Alderman's performance in batting practice. Another thing that caught our eye, Ian Kinsler's performance during infield practice.
Yeah,
it's always impressive to see an MLB caliber second baseman do his work. Exactly, a Gold Glover at the second base position do his work, and plenty effort there, but just past his outstretched glove on the hard hit ball off the bat of Christian Martin into the gap enough to score Gump from second.
CRCBL potential Gold Glover Riley Johnson takes his first strike at the dish. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Guy that's made some pretty phenomenal plays. But yeah,
He's had to kiss the wall a couple times.
Yeah, Ian Kinsler, smooth like butter at second base. Here's the 0-1. Goes around on a foul tip. I mean, I guess you kind of have to go around on a foul ball. That's strike two. 0-2 here. Runner on second is Martin. Fleet-footed. Could definitely score on a base hit up the middle. Brodkowitz, pitcher. There's a couple of guys stirring in the bullpen right now.
Johnson and Nip, the only two Big Train batters tonight to reach in both of their plate appearances so far.
Led off that game with a very well-struck single.
Then drew the intentional walk.
Bounces another one a second. The Gold Glover Kinsler fires first in time for out number one. Valencia takes it. Good sacrifice ground out there for Riley Johnson, and up will come Trevor Doyle, the right fielder. Doyle in his defensive replacement.
The left fielder, number 27 from Sacramento State.
Sacrifice 4-3 ground out for Riley Johnson. That moves Christian Martin over to third. Doyle in here once again, talked to him in BP. He said, yeah, I really just want to, I'm really excited for tonight and looking forward to putting some balls in play here against this team and trying to show off a little bit in BP. I mean, I think everybody is trying to show off in BP. Big Train have put up skinny runs in 3 of their innings tonight. Just one, looking to make that stick a little bit more. Make it a crooked number. A crooked number. 5-3. 0-1 here to Doyle. Outside corner, 1-1. 1 out. Just saw that. Gold Glover Kinsler. I mean, seeing him in infield practice was just something special. You know, you don't often get to see major leaguers come to Big Train games, but when they do, and it's something like this, just great. Outside strike called, 1-2.
And it's not just that they're here. I mean, they're working out there.
Yeah, they're looking to put a show on for the fans as well. So many people here tonight. A lot of people come here to see, you know, Ian Kinsler, come here to see the former major leaguers. But like you said, guys like Jonathan DeMarte that make up the team, is they're really going outside here on Trevor Doyle, 2-2.
Yeah, I think it just really speaks to the project that Team Israel just has built. General Manager Peter Kurz, of course, Eric Holtz.
2-2 to Doyle. Taps one up the middle, gets by a diving Bertram and into center field, and that'll make it a 5-4 ball game. So an RBI single for Trevor Doyle drives in Christian Martin, and the Big Trainer 1 run away, their first multi-run inning, and up comes CRCBL All-Star Matt Thomas.
Yeah, Trevor Doyle just poking it past fellow Sacramento Stater Bertram there, straight up the middle. Tough play for the shortstop.
Big Train hanging around against a pretty good ball club. Makes you feel like okay going forward for this team. Had some struggles at the plate over the last month or so. It's Thomas. It's a long swing and a miss, gets away from the catchers. It's a new catcher in, no longer Ryan Lavarnway. Tal Errol is behind the plate. Lavarnway's night is done. Big old number 7, Tal Errol behind the plate.
Give team native.
Pass ball there gets Trevor Doyle to second base.
And this is one of the more interesting stories on Team Israel. Of course, as we said, a native Israeli, but he picked up baseball. His family spent a couple years in Miami. Of course, baseball hotbed down there in South Florida. Came to play in South Florida at Palm Beach State after his time in the IDF. Spent the past 2 seasons at Lynn University. Was a bullpen catcher at the 2017 WBC, and looking to make his contributions on the actual roster here. Sharing time with Lavarnway, as you said.
Yeah, contributes a nice setup there. Good pitch there to get a 1-2 count on Matt Thomas. Former CRCBL Offensive Player of the Week. Smoked a baseball in Alexandria over the past week. We'll see what he can do here with a runner on second and just 1 out as Brodkowitz will recollect himself on the mound. Guess he's not on the All-Star team. I was thinking of Matt Howitt. My bad. And definitely All-Star worthy, though, Matt Thomas this season. Unfortunately, didn't be named to the team. Plenty of Big Train on that team, though. The guy in the on-deck circle made the team. Kemp Alderman. But, yeah, Matt Howitt, the All-Star, not Matt Thomas. Bullpen pitcher has just been incredible for the Big Train this year. 2-2 to Thomas. Skips in the dirt. Errol collects it. And the count runs full.
Yeah, a lot of Big Train names up and down. All the catchers, Nearai and Nip. All of the outfielders, Gump, Foster, Cone, and Doyle. Alderman and Torres in the infield. And then Howitt, the lone pitcher. Big Train getting their staff some work here tonight.
Make a wishes. It's 11-11 here. Pitch to Thomas, right down the middle. Strike 3 called. And that's out number 2. So Kemp Alderman comes up to the plate. Not surprised that none of the pitchers are available because pitching tonight are 2 All-Star worthy ones in Hitt and Metz.
And
Bedford. All 3 of them will not be making the All-Star game tomorrow since they'll be pitching back-to-back days. But Matt Howitt sending there his long left arm. As Kemp Alderman comes up.
Yeah, very excited to see Howitt pitch in that game.
Alderman grounded into a very well-struck double play and struck out. First pitch to him bounces, ball 1. The mighty righty from Mississippi Masher. Goes by many names, most of them Kemp. 1-0 offering from Brodkowitz out of the bullpen. Probably going to see a new pitcher after this inning. A couple of runs across here for the Big Train as Kemp calls time. It is definitely must-see TV when Kemp Alderman is batting. In batting practice, of course. At the plate, I would say so too. Ole Miss lucky to have a guy like him. 0-1. Alderman tops one towards third base. That's going to be a base hit, I think. Yeah. Kemp Alderman beats out an infield single. And now 2 runners are on, and that'll bring up Grant Knipp, who's seeing the ball incredibly well tonight.
Grant Knipp looking to stay hot here, maybe collect his second RBI of the day. Of course, we do have some bullpen action. As you mentioned, for Team Israel, Matt Soren, the right-handed pitcher, up and warming.
Really just, I mean, in 30 years from now, that hit will go down as a rocket into left field, but it literally went like 60 inches from home plate. Kemp Alderman aboard for Grant Knipp, who homered his first time up, then doubled, nearly homered. Made me jump out of my seat. Knipp
Not
really,
the only one.
really crushing the ball tonight. First pitch, Knipp crushes one foul. Ready for that one from Brodkowitz, and it's 0-1.
Knipp, as we've said, not just seeing the ball well tonight, seeing the ball well over the last couple of weeks and looking to carry the offensive momentum on.
0-1 to him. Breaking ball, good pitch from Brodkowitz, and it's 0-2.
I really like watching Brodkowitz pitch.
Yeah, he's been a pretty good pitcher on the mound. 2 runs across. Really, it's almost like none came across. Well, the way he's pitching on the mound, Big Train have just found some holes. And, of course, that Alderman hit was very lucky.
And Hole started off with
the 0-2 to Knipp, bounces it again, foul.
A little bit of luck for the Big Train against a very stout Israel defense. Kelly just slightly short on the throw over to first from third.
Kelly plays all over the diamond. He played in the outfield for the Mets, played third base, played second base. Really a guy that can do it all. He's a Swiss Army knife out there in the field.
Yeah, absolutely.
0-2 here from Brodkowitz to Knipp once again. Got a piece of the last one. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Knipp is finally retired for out number 3. Big Train get 2 more runs across. 5-4, they trail Israel. They're coming back up to the plate, but first, a view into the probably most legendary hit of Ty Kelly's career.
That's 368 from this side of the plate with the big league club.
Sharply hit and past to diving Crawford into left field, a base hit.
Well, with Bumgarner on the mound, no surprise that Gillespie would be hugging the line late in the game, protecting against the extra base hit. I don't think he would have.
Hopefully there's no spying that they have to do, but if they could do 60 home runs, it would be a mitzvah for Israel and for American teams.
Eva, any predictions about how they will do in Tokyo?
They'll dream of it, and I hope they dedicate it to stay close to DC.
Thank you, Aviva Kempner.
Happy we get to call this. I'm at Robert Morris, from Pittsburgh.
Now pitching for the Bethesda Big Train, number 13, from William and Mary, Jack Holmes.
Yeah, run this with you.
The extra hitter, number 23, Ben Wanger.
Back here at Povich Field on Big Train TV as Ben Wanger leads things off, and joined by a very special guest in the broadcast booth tonight, pitcher off Team Israel and White Sox draftee Alex Katz. Alex, thank you so much for joining us today in the booth.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
So, arriving here at the ballpark, you guys have had a bunch of tune-up games. I mean, what have you just noticed about Povich Field that really stands out to you tonight?
I actually played here plenty of times because I went to college at St. John's, and Georgetown plays here. So very familiar with this field, and it's always great to be back.
Yeah, Wanger fouls one off down the left field line. Georgetown, of course, that's the guy that just came off the mound in Everett Catlett, Georgetown native. So, what has been your favorite thing about the process, I guess, leading up to the Olympics, going through these tune-up games as you prep for the bigger stage?
I think just getting accustomed to, the catchers and the infield, especially, coming off my minor league season where I'm, playing with different guys. But, the good thing is, I've thrown to LeVarn Way and played with most of these guys in the World Baseball Classic, so it's not too big of an adjustment.
Right, and we'll get to the World Baseball Classic in a second as the new pitcher, Jack Cohn, fires one inside to Ben Wanger, the hitter. So, World Baseball Classic, honestly, one of the most special, moments. It really has just taken shape over the years. What has it been like, I guess, playing with this team in that and then the building process going forward to the Olympics?
Yeah, just a great group of guys. Day one in the World Baseball Classic and the qualifiers in Brooklyn. I don't know if I knew anybody, but after one day of practices, it felt like I've known the guys for years. Just a great group of guys. Team chemistry is unlike any other team that I've played on.
It's outside ball 4 here to Wanger. He's aboard. Yeah, WBC, it was really fun watching you guys, really build up and those upsets going forward. Just a fun tournament to be part of. From your standpoint, though, getting to pitch in that, how fun was that?
Unreal. By far one of the best experiences. And, even if I make it to the big leagues and have a 10-year career, we had guys like Jason Marquis on the team who did that. And, they still say that the World Baseball Classic was one of the highlights of their playing career. So, that just goes to show how special of a time that was for us.
So, taking on the pitcher, Cohn is another big leaguer in Ian Kinsler, but a big leaguer that's in the bullpen, or will be soon at least, is Josh Seid, a guy that really, was a big part of that WC run. What's it been like pitching with him?
Oh, great. Josh brings a lot of experience, and he's a great guy, and he actually coaches with the Cubs, so it's cool to have multiple Cubs connections on our team.
Right, bounce towards third, a leaping play by Sean Ewell to second for one, back to first is in time for the double play. So a 5-4-3 turn there on Ian Kinsler, and there's 2 down. So Alex, what are you most looking forward to? I know Olympics a little bit bigger than the WBC, but what are you most looking forward to as you guys head there soon?
Yeah, I like to tell people that it hasn't hit me yet.
Right.
And these games just feel like a regular exhibition game or, summer league all-star game, that type of vibe. And, I'm kind of happy about that because, I don't want it to hit me until we land in Tokyo or until the opening ceremonies. I want to live in the moment and, just take it one step at a time. So, I'd say the thing I'm looking forward to the most is that first game against Korea. How you start the game. Obviously, how you start is not the most important thing. It's how you finish. But if you start off hot, it kind of leads to good things to come.
Right. Ty Kelly, Mets legend, takes a strike there from Jack Cohn. And so playing with around these guys that have been there before, how special has it been to learn from them? And, of course, from Coach Holtz as well, who's been here for a little bit.
Yeah, no, always picking the brains of those guys. And obviously, I have some pro experience under my belt, so I'm trying to teach the young guys as well, including the high school and college guys that are practicing with us in these exhibition games. So, I like to learn from those guys and then pass on that info and some of the info that I've learned to help the others because – those younger guys are the future of Israel baseball, and obviously these veteran guys and the guys on our team are trying to make a name for Israel baseball.
Right, and how just special is it to represent your heritage that skips in there from Cohn to Kelly? How special is that just to represent your heritage?
There's nothing like representing something way bigger than yourself. I don't even feel like we're representing just a country. We're representing like a whole heritage, a larger group of people than just Israel.
So here's the 2-2 swing and a missed strike 3 from Ty Kelly, and the inning is over. Once again, Alex Katz, thank you so much for joining us for this half inning. Really appreciate it, and best of luck going forward as you guys get ready for the Olympics. Thanks again, Alex.
Thanks so much, guys.
Of course.
Thank you.
For Team Israel, number 35, Matt Soren. Fans, if you'd like an extra copy of a souvenir program from tonight's ball game, make sure to stop by behind the Miller and Long Grandstand. We are selling it for $5. Get your extra piece of Big Train history today. The third baseman from Florida Atlantic University, number 23, Nolan Shanuel.
Nolan Shanuel to lead things off here in the bottom half of the sixth. Big Train F, and it's a new pitcher on the mound. Delaware Blue Hen, former Delaware Blue Hen, Matt Soren takes over. The righty, alma mater of both of my parents and my sister soon. She heads in. Shanuel tonight, 0 for 2 with a couple of flyouts. Hey, that was just like, I believe that was Rob Pollard. No, that was Nick Rickles. Yeah, Rickles. First pitch here from Soren. Shanuel attacking and right away and fouls it off. Back into the Bethesda night, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, well-traveled pitcher, part of that, Frontier League kind of association, played in the Canadian American Association down in Australia as well. Kind of going back to what Alex was talking about in the last half inning, there's just so much different experience. Of course,
right.
You have, as we've talked about, you have the guys like Kelly and Kinsler who bring that sort of pedigree, right, and Danny Valencia. Then you have the well-traveled guys. You have the guys who have been working in different organizations.
Shanuel smokes one into the gap. That's going to split him and head all the way to the wall. We'll get back to your point in a second as Shanuel rounds first, heads to second, and it's a leadoff double for Nolan Shanuel. But like as you were saying, I mean, really,
never upset to be rudely interrupted.
no,
like
absolutely
that.
not, especially by Shanuel smoking a double. But literally unmatched.
There's just so many different levels of experience, and I think that's what makes this team so unique. Besides the fact that, as Alex was saying as well, they're not representing a country. They're representing a people. They're representing a heritage. They're representing 5,000 years of history. But they're also just so deep in so different ways. You're talking about guys like Shlomo Lippitz, who's an events manager for a winery, but he's also a fantastic sidearm pitcher with a real pedigree and real experience through decades of professional baseball.
It's just unmatched, like we said. Is Colin Tuft will get his first at-bat. The Stork, they should call him. He's a very long and lean dude. First pitch to him.
Are Storks orange?
I don't know. They have an orange beak as his first pitch, take for a strike. I would always call Michael Taylor the Stork, Michael A. Taylor, because he was very long and lean. But Colin Tuft has got some length to him. As I was going to say, with that, it's really just different from any other team you would find because it's a heritage, like you said. And, I think it was Valencia or Kinsler that said, we got guys that can do your taxes on this team. We also got guys that played many years in the big league. So
and have a World Series ring.
And have a World Series ring because it skips low, 1-1. Here's to Colin Tuft, Virginia commit. Guy that the Big Train hope will fill in nicely. Guy that replaced Austin Gauthier on the roster. Gauthier's here tonight. Los Angeles Dodgers signee. Very happy for him. Talked to him before the game. Very happy that he was very happy and very, thankful for the chance. I think he would be for the defending World Series champion as Soren spins around and checks on Shanuel at second base. Big Train trail by 1. Runner in scoring position for Tuft. Let's see if he can endear himself to the faithful here in his first AB as a Bethesda Big Train. Defensive replacement in, I believe it was the 4th, Colin Tuft. The 5th, 1-1. Outside, 2-1. Errol's going to run that back out.
Errol behind the dish, a very kind of upward catcher, kind of up on the knees, not necessarily sitting down squat, ready to come up and throw, especially with a runner out there on the base paths.
2-1 here to Colin Tuft. Tuft, another upright catcher behind the dish. 2-1. Bounces one. Whoa. Good bat speed there from Tuft. And it's 2-2. I think that's the part of what they like about Colin Tuft is his bat speed. He's a guy that, yeah, the defense might not be the same as the offense, but the offense is enough to play him every day. Or play him at least enough. Tuft, we haven't learned too much about him. He's only been here for a few days. Also, we'll see a new pitcher next inning and Ryan Metz to close things out for the big train, potentially. I don't think Coach Sal expects to get this game past 7 innings. I think it's, didn't they say 7 innings regardless of
Yeah, I don't think
score?
we're going past 7, especially as it's 11:30.
Yeah. Because the lights go off at 12. Inside pitch, and the count runs full here on Colin Tuft. Has worked a good at bat here. Good turn at bat in his first AB as a Bethesda Big Train.
Yeah, not showing his age in his plate presence so far.
So the full count offering now from Soren. The long set slows it down a little bit. Long brown hair out of his cap. Here's the pitch. Tuft fouls it off. Putting together a tough at bat. Colin Tuft.
I feel like we're going to be going into that one a few times.
Well, we only have so many games left, Ben. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Once again, we thank everybody new, everybody that's always been here tuning in tonight on Big Train TV. We're so happy to bring this to you tonight. Tyler Gallo and Ben Bobek here tonight. Really just a special night in all facets of the game. Not just the game, but the surroundings of it. Really just been special. So it reaches 11:30. Here's the pitch. Tuft fouls it off. And he's staying alive.
Yeah, absolutely. Just CT's hanging in there, doing his best to see pitches and make them work.
I'm not sure if these lights will
Interesting
go
spot
off
here.
in half an hour. Still got 2 innings to play. Big Train coming up regardless in the 7th inning if they take the lead here or not. So this is not their last turn at bat. But the full count offering to Colin Tuft. Here's the pitch. Swing and a foul tip into the mitt, but it's bouncing and out of the mitt for Colin Tuft, and his at bat stays alive. Yeah, really happy to be doing this, and then tomorrow night's game is going to be probably even cooler at just a very nice venue. One that every kid dreams of playing at as they drive by it down 95. Full count. Tuft really putting together a tough AB. Here's the pitch. Bounce to third, and it's going to be a foul ball. Kelly was hoping for a play. Just gets into foul territory near the bullpen. And again, Colin Tuft putting together, getting his money's worth here in this AB.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just been fouling balls off. I want to say that's almost 11 pitches in this at bat now for Tuft.
Errol was in for LeVar Way at catcher. LeVar Way, very nice guy. Talked to him before the game. You'll see those interviews tomorrow on our broadcast, so if we've given you any reason to stick around, those would have to be the ones. That's inside, ball 4, and Colin Tuft works a well-earned walk in his first at-bat as Bethesda Big Train.
Good way to answer the leadoff double from Sean Ewell. An 11-pitch walk worked by Colin Tuft.
Very tremendous AB there for him as Brady Gump up to the plate now. Tonight, Gump flew out and reached on an error. Grant Knipp homered earlier in this game. How about that? Of a pretty good pitcher in Shlomo Lipitz. Really was able to slow it down.
Yeah, and just the second walk of the game taken by Big Train batters.
Squaring a bunt, Valencia was almost at his eyes. There, Brady Gump looking to get these runners over and potentially tie this game. Fans are filing out a little bit here. Gump squaring a bunt. Pulls it back, and it's a strike right down the middle of 1. Danny Valencia is literally breathing down his neck coming in from first base. Some chants begin here at Povich Field, host of the first playoff game for the Big Train in a couple of days next week. Big Train will be at home for 2 if it goes that far, but finish their series pitch on the road is Soren. Really just paying attention to Sean Ewell on second base. Soren, the long hold, delivers. Bunts it up the third base side, fielded by Ty Kelly. Going to be a tough play, but gets Gump, and that works very well. Sacrifice there put down by Brady Gump, and up comes Christian Martin one more time.
the shortstop.
Very perfectly placed there for Brady Gump.
Yeah,
Danny Valencia was literally just standing right next to him. He's like, hey, how you doing?
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Danny. How you doing?
Nice to meet
Brady,
you. I have
Danny, Brady.
Nice to meet you. I have 800 hits to my name and grand slam off Zach Greinke for my first Major League home run. You'll see that eventually. We have our clips. Inside. Strike one here to Christian Martin. So 6-3 put out there on the sacrifice. Gets both runners over to third and second respectively. So we'll play that Valencia clip in the next break.
Is leading off the next inning after all.
Martin attacks and fouls down the left field line. 0-2. Infield drawn in a little bit. Valencia and Kinsler conversing there in the right field side. You can do what you want when you've made as much money as those two guys have had. Two very great players in their own right. The pitch out there, yeah. I guess that's a little bit outside. Soren really just trying to control the run game, slow down Colin Tuft at second and Sean Ewell at third, but I don't think they're stealing.
7 strikeouts for Soren in 7 scoreless innings against Belarus.
And there's a strikeout there as it's taken strike 3 call by Christian Martin, and there's 2 down.
Third game of that European Championship pool play tournament back in July of 2019. As you said, I mean, this has been a lengthy journey for Team Israel, not just to qualify through the lengthy Olympic qualification process, but as we said, to have to sit out last year after being prepared to go to the Olympics and have to kind of deal with, obviously, everything that everybody around the world was dealing with.
Oh, absolutely.
And then have to come back and, as we're seeing, get fresh and get ready to rock again.
Riley Buffett up to the plate now. Riley Johnson. Breaking ball spins a bit outside. 1-0. Due up in the top half of the 7th inning for Israel. It's going to be the middle of the order. Danny Valencia, Tal Errol, and Nick Rickles. I think Nick Rickles. We'll have to see who takes over. Don't think they want to take Danny Valencia out of this game.
Yeah, Valencia's hit a couple home runs over the last few games, really finding his offensive
Down the left field line into the corner. That might fall in for a base hit, and it does. Riley Johnson drives in a pair, and the Big Train have taken the lead over Israel. It is 6-5. Riley Johnson going with where the pitch was, stroking it down the left field line, and Bethesda, shockingly, is taking the lead over Israel.
2 RBI, bases clearing double for Bethesda, and they're in a fantastic spot here with Trevor Doyle looking to move Riley Johnson right along as well. How about a great piece of hitting from Johnson, keeping that fair down the left field line, working the space, and bringing those 2 runners home.
So Tal Errol will be the second hitter, as I was getting to, and then Nick Rickles. Here's Trevor Doyle. There goes Johnson. Throw down to third is high and goes into left field. Johnson racing for the plate, and he's going to come in to score. Kelly jogs over to get it, and the Big Trains stretch their lead to 7-5. So some unbelievable base running there for Riley Johnson. And the bases are now empty for Trevor Doyle, and Ryan Metz coming in a makeshift save situation.
Yeah, what a play there by Riley Johnson.
Yeah.
Heads up base running, being ready to run, and then seeing the ball squirt past the mid of Ty Kelly and knowing there wasn't any backup in position, and just motor it on home as the 7th run of this game for the Big Train.
So they've hung 5 runs in the past 2, much like the Pittsburgh Pirates last night.
Not today, though.
Strike, yeah. Today, I mean, it nearly lost a game in where Taiwan Walker flipped the ball into the foul territory. I'm just shocked they didn't lose that game. Doyle, up ball 1, 1-2. Soren allows these runners to come in as the wheels coming off a bit for Israel here. Of course, exhibition game. None of these stats really matter. But I'm sure they do for the players to say, hey, I hit this ball off of this guy. Or I struck out Ian Kinsler. Breaking ball outside, 2-2. Matt Thomas would be next. He struck out twice and flew out today. Trevor Doyle. Stingers up. 2-2. Outside half, and the count runs full. I believe Israel's undefeated coming into this game on their long, strange trip through exhibition matchups. This would be a shocking loss. Offering fouled out of play from the payoff pitch. Not too shocking, though, in terms of just a game in that, you know, they tried everything. Apparently internationals rules are on for this inning. I don't really know what they are. But just a special night. As things have quieted down considerably here at Povich Field, though. Outside ball 4, and Trevor Doyle is aboard, and up will come Matt Thomas. And if you're just new to this broadcast, just joining us, Big Train have a penchant for stringing together big innings. That's really where a lot of their runs have come from, and Matt Thomas, definitely a bellwether in the middle of the order. Big Train lead at 7-5. They now are out hitting Israel.
8-7 on that score. I believe that was, double check that, I believe it was a throwing error on the catcher that allowed Johnson to come home.
Yeah, it was a tough play for Kelly to make, and I think he's 5'8", 5'9" of him, leapt for that ball.
Yeah. So a stolen base and then an error by the catcher.
Soren, very well-traveled guy, just looking to get out of this with nothing else. Thomas, big swing and a miss there, 0-1. Thomas has been late on a bunch of pitches today. Really calmed down a bit by Israel pitching. Israel trailing 7-5 here at Povich Field. 0-1. Pitch from Soren. Tap foul, and the count goes to 0-2. Nothing in two-strike situation where I think Thomas has been in all times he's been up. Kemp Shark would be next. It's been referred to him as. He walks up to Baby Shark. Big Train will likely due to send Ryan Metz to the mound. 7-inning game no matter what happens. Full 7 innings, too. 0-2 to Thomas. Ball high. Doyle going down. Throw to second. Skips into center field and through the glove of Ian Kinsler. And it's a stolen base for Trevor Doyle. Don't see him running too much. Big Train offense has put up 5 runs in these last 2 innings after putting up 2 in the first 4. That 3-run inning really stands as the one that was going to be the leader for this one, and then all of a sudden, Big Train put one up of their own. 1-2 here to Matt Thomas, William and Mary Tribesman. Here's the pitch from Soren. Ripped down the right field line towards the corner. That's going to go foul and near that Israel bullpen, and it's still 1-2.
Thomas trying to work a little bit more patient at the plate here. 2 strikeouts to his name tonight. With 2 outs here and Doyle back in scoring position. They're going to keep stringing things along here. Build this lead 7-5 as it stands. Pseudo save situation for Ryan Metz upcoming.
1-2 here to Thomas. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and he is down for the 3rd time tonight. But the Big Train tack on 3 runs. They lead at 7-5 over Israel. Middle of the order for the Israel coming up. Danny Valencia due up first. But first, a moment from Danny Valencia's career.
Sure, he'll be the everyday guy, but he's the everyday guy now here in the second half of 2010.
And he drives that to left field, deep. Back goes Gordon. Valencia hits a grand slam, and Minnesota has 6 in the first inning.
Order your tickets online before the game so you may enter the ballpark quickly and easily. Visit bigtrain.org/tickets to reserve your seats now. Reminding you that because of the late start to tonight's game, the teams have agreed to play just 7 innings. As often happens in exhibition games like this, we will play the bottom of the 7th even if the home team is winning. And fans, please help us keep Povich Field clean. As you exit the ballpark tonight, please pick up any trash around your seats and deposit it in the appropriate bins on the concourse. Thank you. pitching for the Bethesda Big Train. From Virginia Tech, Ryan Metz.
Go on for D.
Ryan Metz entering in his normal situation, but a pseudo version of his normal situation. As the Big Train look to make Israel 5-2 on their trip. Danny Valencia, though, a tough ask for the Virginia Tech Hokie as Metz takes over on the mound. Ryan Metz this season was riding on a 20-inning scoreless streak that was snapped in his last outing that dated back to 2019. Guy that has been untouchable in the CRCBL, at least until his last outing. Danny Valencia, hulking presence in the batter's box. Here's the first pitch to him.
Can't wait to see what Metz looks like along this level of competition.
First pitch from Metz. Inside, strike one of Valencia. Danny Valencia, we just showed you. First career home run was a grand slam off of Zach Greinke, the defending Cy Young winner. And he said, yeah, I had not hit a home run entirely up to that point in my career, so to get that was just special. It's inside, and Danny Valencia does a little dance moves to get out of the way of that one. Ryan Metz running it inside. Don't want him to be too close out there, Ryan.
Yeah, not quite the horror out of the box there for Danny Valencia, but some solid dance moves nonetheless.
Long way from Zach Greinke on the mound, too. But Ryan Metz is the, I guess, let's call him Trevor Hoffman of the CRCBL. First pitch. Whoa, up and in. Ryan Metz just comes up and into Danny Valencia. I don't know. There's a break. I think it was a breaking ball that sort of just ran away from him. 2-0. Or 2-1. Pitch from Metz. Right down the middle. Ripped right to Thomas. He makes the catch. A hard hit out for out number one. So an L4 for Matt Thomas. And up comes Tall Arrow, excuse me. Arrow for his first at-bat.
Now hitting 14 Israel.
Turns around from the other side that Ryan Lavarnway was batting at.
Left-handed hitting catcher.
Don't see those too often.
Good as gold.
We've talked several times about lefty catchers on this broadcast.
I mean, Danny Near-Eye, of course.
Lefty catching catchers, though. They're hard to find. They don't exist. 0-1 to Errol. There is strike two, and Ryan Metz is just in control here. Has a chance to move some pitches out or in to maybe get Errol the chase here. Big Train leading 7-5, and if Israel falls, it would be their second loss in exhibition play. They fell to the Bristol Blues. They're 5-1 in exhibition and hoping to stretch that to 6-2 tomorrow, barring any changes in this game. Errol bloops one in the air, shallow left. That's going to get through the shifted outfield and fall in for a base hit. Errol chugging around second. He's going to try for two. The throw into Thomas is not in time. The ball beat him to the bag, but Errol in at second with a one-out double. And up comes Nick Rickles with a chance to drive him in and make this a closer game.
Yeah, and you can actually see Errol's father down there just to the right of home plate, to the left of the Team Israel dugout, celebrating that one. Really cool moment for the Errol family.
So Tall Errol at second base, and Nick Rickles at the dish. He singled his last time up. Ryan Metz, situation he's not really used to. Men on base, he, of course, struck out 6 of 7 in one outing. There's DJ Shirabi in the booth next door to us, fresh off of his pitching appearance in this one. Ryan Metz going over the signs again with Colin Tuft. Tyler Gallo, Ben Bobek here with you on Big Train TV as we're in the home stretch of this ball game. Big Train will come up to bat for the 7th regardless of the outcome. That's how exhibition games work. They've agreed to play a full 7. First pitch to Rickles, bounce to short, Martin charging and boots it, and it goes into center field. In to score is Errol, and it's an RBI, not really RBI error reaching there for Christian Martin, and it's 7-6.
This game just trying to be as interesting as it can down the stretch. Tough play there for Martin on the charge. And Arel able to take advantage to the utmost as he comes around to score. Well-earned run there from Talarel.
So no RBI on the play as it is an error. Coming up to the plate now is Scott Bertram, the shortstop, Rocky's farmhand. Situation where he's reached twice. Potentially a well-struck ball could get Rickles in from first and tie this game. First pitch from Metz. Swing and a miss. Good pitch from Metz there. It's 0-1.
Drafted by Colorado way back in 2015. He's been with them since, including with the Hartford Yard Goats, one of the best minor league mascots in the game.
I love the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Rocket City Trash Pandas. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs is up there.
The Modesto Nuts, 1-1.
Binghamton, one of the newer ones, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies.
They
used to just be the Binghamton Mets. I've been to the stadium up there in Binghamton.
Rumble Ponies, phenomenal name. Richmond Flying Squirrels, 1-1.
Yep.
Swing and a miss as Bertram comes up empty on a swing, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, but I was wondering this about Bertram. I may have to try to ask him either tonight after the game or tomorrow. But the coach for Team Israel back at the WBC, Jerry Weinstein, is a catching coach in the Rockies organization. So I wonder if that's where the connection was made.
Here's the 1-2 from Metz, up high, ball 2. And, yeah, we'll talk to a couple more of these guys going forward. Definitely want to pick their brains a little bit, as there's some guys that, obviously you want to talk to the big guys, the guys that played in major leagues, but guys that coming from all different sorts of backgrounds. I love to talk to Shlomo Lipitz.
Yeah.
And see, what makes him keep coming back to this game. I mean, I'm sure it's a great reason. But, man, fouled off by Bertram, and it's still 2-2. 68 degrees. It's cooled off quite a bit.
It's a beautiful night for baseball.
Oh, absolutely. Tyler. And I hope it's the same tomorrow night in Aberdeen.
Sheer perfection.
Two and two here from Ryan Metz. Good pickoff move. Checks over on first base. He's back in time. 2-2.
A little warmer tomorrow night, by the way.
Yeah.
Seems to be forecasted up around the high 80s, lower 90s.
2-2 offering for Metz. Here's the pitch to Bertram. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is out number 2. So Israel out to their technically final out, and up comes the designated hitter, Rob Pollard.
Yeah, final out at the bat, so to say.
Very good game nonetheless. A game that has been just filled with a bunch of things.
Yeah, I mean, you said it before. You see something new at every baseball game, and tonight we got to see a really well played. A lot of fundamentals at play, despite the 2 errors on either scoreline, but just an overall enjoyable baseball game here tonight at Povich Field, and still a couple more outs to go.
Outside ball 1 to Pollard. Pollard, a guy that I feel like if he gets a hold of one, it's going to go a long way. Asaf Lowengardt would be next, as he has been the whole game.
Center fielder.
Ripped to center field. That is way back onto the warning track at the wall. It is gone. Goodbye. What did I just say? Rob Pollard absolutely obliterates one into the Bethesda night. And it is 8-7 as Israel takes the lead. Wow. To the deepest part of the ballpark, Rob Pollard just absolutely sent one into orbit.
Yeah, got a hold of that one. Cranked a big fly over the right center field fence. Absolutely skyrocketed to the right of the batter's eye. Hello, Rob Pollard.
So here's Asaf Lowengardt. I was literally just saying, Rob Pollard, if he gets into one, sends it a long way. That ball went a long way.
That ball went quite a long way. Not nearly as long as we saw Danny Valencia hit one during batting practice, but, man, Pollard has
crazy
yanked
power.
A couple on this one.
First pitch to Lowengardt, taken for strike 0-1. Ryan Metz, was at the 2 outs, and then Rob Pollard just smoked like a nice brisket.
Pollard had a 3-hit game against the
Metz loses his hat.
CBL All-Stars up in Harrisburg, scored a couple times, but really launched that thing.
Shades of John Pacella out there on the mound. 1-1 here. to Asaf Loengart, who's reached twice today. Pitch to him, fouled back in the screen. It's 1-2, and man, I'd love to get the distance on that ball from Pollard because he scorched it deep center field, and that ball's not coming back. Israel leads at 8-7. This game is turned around in a hurry. I don't think anyone's too worried about that, though. 1-2 from Metz. The pitch. Swing and a miss in the dirt. Tuftle make the easy throw down to first, but not after. Rob Pollard sends one to the moon. Big Train trailing 8-7 coming up in the bottom of the 7th when we come back.
Holy smokes. Can you switch cameras again? Because Quentin told me to put that.
Now pitching for Team Israel, number 5, Hayden Rothbaum.
Why is the streams 360 feet? The streams are 360 feet.
The first baseman from Ole Miss, number 33, Cap Alderman.
Big Train back up here in the 7th inning after Rob Pollard smoked one to give the Big Train their first first trail of today's game. And what a shot off the bat was that for Rob Pollard.
Yeah, just an absolute torch to right center field. Got all of that hanging cutter, I believe it was. And just unleashed some pain on that baseball. Here's a guy who can put a charge into 1 or 2.
Hoping to do the same. Kemp Alderman, a guy that has done his fair share of that this season. Full 7 innings here tonight. 11:58 on the clock. We'll get into the morning. First time I've ever called a game that has gone overnight. It's up and outside. 2-1 to Alderman. 1-run lead, skinny 1-run, Caden Rothbaum, the new pitcher for Israel. Trying to hold on to a 1-run lead. Outside, ball 3. I was just alluding to it, though, that Rob Pollard could really lean into one and destroy it, and man, did he do that. Up and outside, and ball 4 to Kemp Alderman. He is aboard here in the 7th with Grant Knipp coming to bat.
Yeah, and speaking of Binghamton, I believe the Delray Beach native Caden Rothbaum will be heading to play for the Bearcats.
Number 4, Grant Knipp.
Lefty. Lanky lefty.
Guy that homered earlier today in Grant Nip. Looking to do the same. Nip comes up empty on a swing and a miss. And it's 0-1. Rothbaum, a very similar windup to Chasen Shreve. Really reminds me of him. A guy that comes way out and rips it to the plate.
By the way, happy Monday, Tyler.
So Nip bounces one to second, or short could be two. Second for one, back to first. Nip beats it out. So it's a fielder's choice. We have a new first baseman in the game. And it looks like second base as well. A whole plethora of defensive replacements. Burcham still at short. New catcher behind the plate as well. And here's Nolan Shawnuel.
Yeah, Simon Rosenbaum over at first base. And he's a guy kind of similar to what we were talking about before in the last few innings. Coordinator of baseball development for the Tampa Bay Rays. Played at Pomona College and then professionally in Brussels for a little bit. Joined Team Israel way back in 2014. Hit .323 in this year's Olympic qualifying cycle. Played first base, DH, outfield.
And I think Tal Arel is at second base now. And the new catcher, behind the dish. Jared Lekind. Listed as a pitcher. Behind home plate.
It's either 45 or 46 back there. Can't quite tell.
I think that's 45. Shawnuel takes strike two, and it's 2-2. And is that still Ty Kelly at third? I don't know.
Looks like him.
Kelly still at third. Shawnuel hits one high in the air. Kelly and Lekind converging for it near the dugout, and Kelly makes the play for out number 2. So a P5 for the second out, and the last out for the big train stands as Colin Tuft.
The catcher from UVA, number 19, Colin Tuft.
Tuft, the UVA commit, looking to maybe give himself a special moment as he enters to Superstition by Stevie Wonder. First chance we've gotten to see him hit. First pitch outside, ball 1. We have just passed midnight here at Povich Field. Some great finish brewing. There's a strike, and it's 1-1. Three runs in consecutive innings for these two squads. Rothbaum looking to close it out. 1-1. A Tuft takes the ball outside. 2-1. He shows a very good eye at the plate. Very selective.
Absolutely. Said before that he didn't show his age when it came to the eye. It's a real patient approach. Knows what's a ball and what's a strike. And as a hitter, there's no better quality to have.
Tuft takes one high. 3-1. Big Train, a runner on first. Looking to get a runner on first and second and bring up Brady Gump, who has had some heroics in him. Some late inning heroics to him this year. 3-1 to Tuft. Outside, ball 4, and he is aboard with 2 outs.
Yeah, I'm at Colin Tuft working 2 walks tonight in both plate appearances.
The right fielder from Notre Dame,
phenomenal eye at the
number
dish.
20, Brady Gump.
Brady Gump up now, stands as the Big Train's last out.
Potentially.
2 runners on and 2 outs. Rothbaum looking to just get out of it. First pitch here to Brady Gump. Inside, ball 1.
Big Train just staying patient out there. Big Train just staying patient out there, as I was saying. Doing the best to move the line along and get themselves in position.
That skips inside. And
to
it's
make
2-0.
some memories here at Povich Field.
Instant classic brewing.
Really has just been, I feel like we've said it 3 or 4 times in the last few innings. It really has just been a great game.
Oh, yeah.
Not the shortest, of course, just past midnight through almost 7 innings.
That has a strike, and it's 2-1.
But just a fantastic ball game overall.
Oh, absolutely. And very happy to be bringing it to you here again on Big Train TV. We'll be in action tomorrow night. CRCBL All-Star Game. 2-2, and the Big Train are down to their final strike. Chance starting to hear them loud a little bit here. 2-2 offering now from Rosenbaum to Brady Gump. Flags a waving, fans a cheering. Here's the 2-2 offering. Rothbaum stares in, long hold. Runners go. Bounce to third and foul. So having to go back. And a big ah from the stands. Two and two here once again. 2 runners on. Here's the offering from Rothbaum once again. The pitch. Ripped high in the air into center field. Settling under it is Israel. He settles under it, makes the play to end the ball game. So Israel, with a clutch home run from Rob Pollard, wins this ball game 8-7 over the Big Train. What a game it was from start to finish, and man, just a fun night to be here at the ballpark. Big Train not able to mount that comeback, but they put up a fight against the WBC team.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as you said, an incredibly special experience to be able to host this Olympic caliber team and having some Olympic caliber baseball. You know, this is just a fantastic squad put together by the Israeli team, and just unbelievable to experience this level of competition here at Povich Field tonight. And again, as you've said time and time again, happy to be a part of it and bringing this action here to you.
Very, very great game it was tonight. Big Train fall by a score of 8-7. 8 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors for Israel, and then 7 runs and 8 hits for Big Train. But I don't think anyone really cares about those. They're all about the moments here, and really just a classic game and a great outing and a great night. So that's all from us here at Povich Field. See you tomorrow night at the good old Aberdeen Complex, Ripken Field, and we'll see you there tomorrow. And